But I have a video of that, short video too, and it's on Patreon too. If you want to see the instructions to just use self-assignment rules 3rd class, that's it. And then you get the green nice Discord name, isn't that cool? In military green, of course. In any case, this is your host GMODIST, and well, Lord High Admiral Eric it is, and I'm signing out. Well, hello, this is Sneaky GMODIST, and we need to get back into the trials before our enemies detect us, because we need to be very quick with deciding which bombers we need, because we need to be able to bomb the enemies, doesn't we? Well, indeed, we need to be able to bomb the enemies. And we still haven't properly actually decided which of the bombers will be the winners. Since recently or whatever, I decided we'll have several winners, because I realized this. After we have seen which bomber is the best, the bombers needs to have a slight overhaul since the decals are gone, and the user might want to add some new stuff or a fire or whatever that might improve its performances. So the winners will have the opportunity to improve the designs, and then we'll put them in the 2nd chapter Frontier Fleet. Anyways, this is the 3rd round, basically the 3rd section of this challenge, so we're gonna jump in here and, as the previous episode, test the bombers against the Twin Guards Horror. Next out, or first out rather, is Russia's bomber here, AOG bomber from Russia. Butterfly Wasp it's called, against the Horror as usual. So we're gonna see how it fares against those lasers and those ENP things. Ooh, I do not think we are very strong against lasers here. We have already started a small fire in the ship. Who knows? We'll see what will happen. And those missed. Alright. We shall see indeed what's happening here, but we are getting some damage dealt from these lasers indeed. Also, who no more fires? We're burning just a little bit. Alright, we got some damage on the side there. Those missiles are a little bit sad here on the right side. Okay. And there we can see, all right. Missiles popping in here. Are they gonna hit? I'm not sure they will. Possibly not. No? It seems to be quick enough. This is a darn quick one. Also, one thing I do want to say is huge thanks to all the commissioned officers in the army of GMODIST, namely Admiral Scooberox, Commodore Owen, our lieutenants Antor, Cravey, Parbaguid and Vincent Veritas. You're supporting us every month and it helps a lot. What won't help is more lasers to this thing, because we kinda died. Alright, it did not survive 3 minutes, that is for sure. We're gonna do a rerun for this battle, or this thing, and we're gonna see what's up. Whoops. Forgetting the VSAD. And this looks not completely disabled, so yeah, it didn't seem like it almost killed it either. Alright. Here we are at the Horror. Loading those shots. Anyways, supporting me every month on Patreon. Huge thanks for that to all the commissioned officer. It really helps a lot. And if you want to support the channel but you don't like Patreon or whatever, you can join the ministry on GMODIST on 4th Wall. We also have just YouTube memberships, which is the ECCLESIARCHY of GMODIST. You can just below beside the subscription button if you want to support the channel that way. And if you do support the channel that way, you will get early access to videos. Basically, you can see them whenever I upload them instead for when I schedule them. Sometimes that means you have access to a lot of videos before anyone else, and sometimes that means you basically see them the same schedule as anyone else. It depends how many I had time to schedule and make beforehand. For some reason, the Wasp's missiles don't seem to target the Aaron. Well, that's unfortunate because then it can't disable the horror, and that means it can't, well, survive longer by disabling the enemy's weapons and whatnot. And oh no, we're just spiraling out of control there, and we're falling down, and it hasn't even been a minute. Well, we are not surviving this thing very well at all. That is unfortunate. Well, the Butterfly Wasp's survivability against the tested EMP missile and laser combo is not very successful here. Yeah. It did survive like 1 minute, not completely useless, so it will still get 1 point, but that's about it. We're gonna move on to Sean Reed's first submission instead. Since I allowed multiple submissions, Sean Reed is going to have probably time-wise most of this video, since he has 4 submissions. Whoops. There we go. Alright. And there we go. Up in the air. Getting targeted by some lasers. Oh, I need to reset the timer. Anyways, I'll add 10 seconds. Oh no! Oh no! We caught fire! Oh no! I don't know if the fire or the EMP got us, but man, that just died. Well, I think we'll need to try that again. Alright, Daggery, let's go. Horror spawn. Alright. Okay, let's tune in here. What's happening up here? Oh! Oh no, it caught fire! Oh, the rubber is so flammable! Oh no! Did we get hit by some EMP thing? It just dies, man! Oh no, Rel, it dies. No. It just automatically, it just dies. It just dies. This is this has some not very good survivability things. Okay. We'll just see that one time more. So it gets like zapped with a laser, right? And then it starts to burn. Well, was it just unlucky 2 times or something? Probably not. I'm just like curious, what happened? It does have like some heavy armor on the top too. Oh, and now it drops bombs too. Right. That is some damage. It did something. Ooh. The fire has been turned against the enemy instead. I do think it has some detection issues now. Or it's... oh no, it's actually completely hollowed out. Alright, so the dagger is mostly completely useless. The first 2 rounds it just died. That would have amounted to 0 point. But this little last, I just tested it like just 1 time more. Just to see what even happened. Maybe it was just unlucky the first 2 times. I'm not sure, but in the end it's gonna get a 2 in score. Because, you know, that went pretty well that last time. So it's hard to say. Maybe almost a 1. I was maybe thinking 2. No, I'm like, maybe I was thinking 1, but I gave it a 2 since this last little thing here. It's very subjective. And sometimes I feel like the order of testing ships does matter a little bit, since the first ship, like Ad Necreus, will automatically be some type of standard, since I always do the Ad Necreus ships first in this list. So it kind of benchmarks it a little bit. Anyways, this is Sean Reed's second submission, the Sunspot. So we're gonna see how we're faring here. Alright. It doesn't get hit by the lasers much, does it? I don't know why. We are getting hit by some other stuff, however. But I really wonder what happened with a laser. Did we, like, with some type of luck, just disable the lasers? What happened? We're trying to lock on those missiles, but we are not doing a very good job at that here. This thing is not dealing much damage. How about this swarm? They just won't hit. Now we just followed the wrong shot. No? Oh, I was just zoomed out. That's why I unlocked on weirdly. Well, with the Horus laser disabled, it's gonna do a very good job at surviving this thing. So we're gonna do a rerun and see if we get any different results, or if this is truly just a 5 out of 5 by disabling the enemy's firepower. And there we go. Same thing again. Now this thing seems to have some resiliency against those lasers, but those lasers are now seriously aiming for some important things. Oh. Man, it looks like it disabled the lasers just like that once more. No, they're still alive. I almost thought it's an expert laser disabler. Those oblique panels seems to be do a pretty decent job at keeping this thing alive. Still alive and well. Yeah, those oblique is a great addition to survive on this thing. And another attack round. Well, we got some missiles after us here, but oh, we are doing some good evasive maneuvers. It just can't keep locked on to the Sunspot at all. While it doesn't usually seem to be able to take out the horror very easily to just not die, it does have some great survivability. And after several minutes, it's not much damaged, like at all. So that's some pretty good results. Yeah, I do think this is a 5 out of 5 in survivability, actually. Very nice, very nice. We're gonna move on to Sean Reed's next submission instead, the third one, since there are 4. Here we have Sean Reed's Jin. Definitely a flying sorcerer type design. We're gonna see how flame resistant this thing, since it's already burning, I'm not... I don't think it will survive very well. But it is going to go very high, so it has that strategy. So perhaps it will be enough to not die. Who knows though? Because it has some wooden parts. I don't know if that means they will burn. We're just sitting here forever and that laser just doesn't hit. And I haven't seen any missiles popping up here either. I think it's just 2. It just has 2 high altitude. And it's getting slowly bombarded from there. So being at this distance does indeed put us at a very good survivability, it seems. Well, we're gonna do this round once again and see if we got some other results. But from this first one, we can definitely say 5 out of 5. And as a bonus, it killed the enemy. Alright, second time around. We're gonna see if this laser manages to set something on fire before we get out of reach. But it's going pretty quickly, just straight upwards. I wonder if things stop burn when you go high enough, like there isn't any oxygen too high up, so I don't know if that's a thing from the depth, but it could be. And no, it didn't destroy anything in the beginning here. And now I think we are going to be back where we were last time, just hovering above it, those lasers dealing too little damage, hitting too rarely to even count. So I think it's pretty safe to say actually that this is indeed a 5 out of 5. I don't think we need any further testing than that, because we just know that those missiles won't reach it and those lasers will have a very hard time hitting anything really. Indeed. So that means we can move on to Sean Reed's last-ish submission. Oh, it looked like it died too. Which, if you are very tuned in to this little series, is the aspirant helicopter. I'm gonna spawn that on the side, since I did that for all the other ones, basically. The timer is going, and the aspirant helicopter is bobbing up and down here. Dropping some missiles to be fired. It just uses so much smoke too. Yeah, that laser doesn't seem to be doing much damage. Just bobbing up and down a little bit there. I think we should follow one of these ones just to see what we're up to. Oh, impact! It's been almost a minute, which didn't cause much damage, and it didn't get much damaged. It's staying pretty safely around that distance, actually. And look at that, the lambs are trying to shoot on these missiles. They're kind of sitting in the water, like mines, looking just evil. That's a little bit scary. Don't go too close. I didn't expect it to do this well, actually. It is surviving extremely well. Well, as we can see, surviving 3 minutes is no problem for this thing. It's basically unharmed, and yeah, it has survived great using this distance and all. So, we are going to restart this one and see if it was just luck. Alright, here we go. Helicopter is in the air. The horror is zapping it, but not doing much. Look at that. No. I think we're going to get the same results, but we're gonna chill here for a bit, of course. So far, so good. Ah. And it's just ominously sailing down against the enemy. Is this not gonna activate? No? Wonder what happened with that bomb. The aspirant helicopter does remind me a little bit of a comet, well, it's moving like this in a smoke of cloud of smoke, I mean. Anyways, we are surviving 3 minutes, no problem at all. This is a 5 out of 5 as well, which means we're going to check out Shotgun's design instead and see how it survives. Here we have Shotgun's dart, which does look a lot like a twin guard design. More so than a AOG design due to the emphasis on yellow and white instead of gold, black, white and brown. Well, we're targeting it pretty nicely there. We're getting bombarded by these lasers, but it seems not to have caused too much damage. Now, we got hit by some EMP. Oh! Did that cause some disruption? Not sure. We maneuvered a little bit weirdly there. Oh no! Oh, it got down in the water. What happened there? Oh no! It seems that the EMP possibly disabled something. Is it no? It's hard to say. Or do we just have some severe maneuverability problems affecting our survivability score? Will it get up or will it stay here? It looks like it will stay here. It doesn't have a chance. The dart is disabled almost instantly, and now it's even burning a little bit. Well, this thing is pretty dead. I don't believe it's gonna recover from it. Or will it? Tensions are rising, but seriously, I don't see how this, like, can... I wasn't close, right? But I was worried I was repairing this thing. Well. No, I'm at the bottom of the sea, so it's okay. Let's do it all over. The horror is a lazen. Dart is spawned. We're machine gunning and shooting stuff. The laser is definitely trying to laser. Oh no. We got EMP'd. Something died. I think the front cannon may have died. I'm not sure. Seems it took out some local weapon controller, possibly. Oh no! I wonder if it takes out a detection or something. Something seems to be janked while we get hit by that EMP missile. I'm not sure exactly why or what, but it doesn't take a long time for it. Like, if we repair this thing... I don't know. Does it even get out of... Okay. It does get out of the water when fully repaired. Let's just repair this thing. There it does some maneuvers. And missiles are... Oh, they missed, kinda. Oh no! And there it just dives down like that. I do wonder what's happening with it. Well, it ain't good at surviving by maneuvering that, even if it's natural causes or if it's something getting sniped or EMP'd off, making the survivability pretty low. Like, it doesn't go and insta-die, so that's one good thing, but it's definitely not really surviving very well. I do believe this is 1 point in survivability in general, is my assessment from this, since it early tries to die so quick. Since now we can see it kinda ish survive a little bit, but it doesn't look like it has much life left in it, does it? It's kinda semi out of control too now, when we just repaired it like that. I'll just look at it a tiny little bit here and see what it... Oh no, it's kinda very wasted. It's kinda very wasted. So that's indeed your very tactical GMODism desperately trying to pick out a good bomber. Do you have a super cool suggestion for what the next season of AOG trials will be? Post them in the comments and I'll think of it, because I have some ideas too, but I want to hear some ideas from you too. In any case, if you haven't subscribed yet, you should totally do that. And with that said, I'll say thanks a lot for watching. Do subscribe to the channel and join it too if you want to get some early videos access and stuff like that. In any case, this is your host, GMODISM. Eric, your Lord High Admiral, and we are very much signing out sneakily like this. Well, hello, it's your Lord High Admiral Eric here of GMODISM, and we are going to check some Army of GMODISM submissions, namely the bombers in our little trials. So let's just dive into it and look at the fourth and last of these survivability challenges, which I think will be very cool. Alright, so here we are. And we are going to continue with the Scuvimations Army of GMODISM B1 3-wall. So the first two submissions will be Scuvimations. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Just gonna make sure that I didn't spawn in the share. Good. Then we can start in with spawning in the Horror, which is the ship we're testing it against. It's technically a ship, but it's a mecha thing. So, very nice. The laser is lasing there. We are having a pretty fat and slow design here. So we're gonna get hit by probably anything the Horror throws at us, but we're pretty thick and strong as well. So I don't really think we will be having too much trouble with these lasers. The only thing that could cause some issues if we have some EMP susceptibility, and those EMP missiles will kind of mess it up for us. Who knows? In any case, I want to say, oh, bam, that's a good hit. But we're looking at the survivability, of course. I just want to say huge thanks to the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM who are supporting the channel every month. Admiral Scubarox, Commodore Owen, and our lieutenants Anto, Cravey, Parvag Reed, and Vincent Veritas. Also, big thanks to our cadets. If you're a cadet, you can have a lot of benefits too for $1 a month. So we have a bunch of cadets. I think like 5. So that's super cool. In any case, you can also join the Army of GMODISM by self-assigning Matros 3rd class if you want to be a regular enlisted in the Army of GMODISM. Very nice. So we are surviving this laser pretty good so far. I do think we are going to reach the 3-minute mark without much damage for the 3-wall actually, but we'll see, we'll see. Results have surprised me before as well. One thing that you also should be very aware of is that you can join the channel down below. If you want to join the channel, you get early access to the videos when I release them, which is pretty nice too. Yes, let's see here. Okay, I almost thought we got EMP dead or whatever, but it seems that the firepower of the 3-wall just takes out the Horror so fast we kinda don't have to worry to get shot much at all. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to do this all over again, just to check if it was just lucky or if this is the standard performance the 3-wall will deliver against the Horror. Yeah, we just have so thick armor here, so I think Scuvimation's done a pretty good job. And I will be surprised if this doesn't end up with a 5 out of 5 in survivability. Now we got some misses there, we got EMP. And we seem to be pretty protected enough against EMP here. That's some good work there. And it seems we're able to take this thing out. Look, it's burning! The fuel engine and the fuel storages has been fried very much fried. Alright. Yeah, okay. That just so quick. Yeah, very nice. Good job. Super good job, Scuvimation. That's a 5 out of 5. Let's check out your second submission and see what that holds in its bay or whatever. This is of course one of my favorite designs. The pigeon. It's notoriously not very good. But it's pretty meaty, so I wonder if it will get some decent survivability score anyways. I know Scuvimation gets very sad when this thing gets any type of point. But we'll see. It's full of wood, so maybe it just burns down if the laser hits the wooden parts at any point. I'm actually suspecting it will have some pretty decent survivability. Oh, look at that. The front has started to burn. This will be very interesting, since it's moving with a speed as well. The fire is, I think it like burns faster. Not 100% sure actually. Does it burn faster, or does it just add like magic oxidizer, or does it just add intensity? I have to check that up. You can see it doesn't burn very far or long. Sad the AOG decals are gone though, but if this design wins, Scuvimation will have the ability to fix that. Not that I think that it will win this challenge, dependent on the scores it has gotten so far, but you never know. Maybe it just excels in the later challenges. It looks splendid though. But it doesn't burn as much as I would have hoped. I scratched that. As much as I would have expected. It's only been like 1.5 minutes, but not too much is happening. But oh, look at that. We have a fire in the back of it. Oh lord, it's burning. New fires all over the place. Oh man. It just gets hit by anything the horror throws at it. It's just too slow and cumbersome. It's dead. It hasn't even been 3 minutes. It took some time for it to die, so it's not 0, but we're gonna relaunch this battle and see if we have any different results. There we go. Second time around. Laser is targeting some wooden blocks there. That will result in a fire. Oh yeah. It's caught on fire already. So we're gonna see with the fire update how much this impacts, because remember, like, wood is like only one material per cubic meter, and it got a little health buff too with the fire update, so it's not completely useless. But I don't know if wood has been nerfed due to the fire update. You would assume so, but with the health being buffed too, I'm not too sure that's actually the case. Well, so far it doesn't seem that this thing does perform much better than last time. It's in case it's able to take out the horror before it deals too much damage. That can happen too. Oh man, just like all the missiles almost hit. Not even the game thinks this is a exciting battle. It just knows the outcome, so it doesn't play that stressful battle music much. Well, it can clearly take a pretty big beating due to it have like a full layer of metal beneath it. But it can take a lot, and that fire is burning and it's too slow, all the missiles are hitting. So while it takes some time to grind it down, it's basically just going to die. It's dead in the sky. Dead in the sky, not dead in the water. Did you hear me there? I'm so intelligent. This is 1 point. Because it takes some time to kill it, but it's basically, yeah. I'm kind of surprised though that those anti-missile guns actually shoot down a substantial amount of those incoming quick missiles. I think that's pretty cool. Well. Are we trying to ram him? No! Well, that would have been a fun thing. Well, fun it was, but 1 point it also was. Now we're gonna look at American's plane. So we are going to spawn in the horror here and see how American's AOG bomber is faring in this little challenge. Man, I do think this will be pretty weak against lasers, but I'm not sure. Since it has a lot of rubber and wing parts, the laser should ignite this thing, and I would suspect this thing is just gonna burn down. We're gonna see though, maybe it just evades so quickly it will never get hit. That's possible too. Sneakily firing some missiles there. Those lasers doesn't hit very much, do they? And at this distance they don't seem to be able to destroy a block, so there is no way it actually causes a fire. That is quite a thing. I wouldn't have expected it. It seems to be surviving pretty well, actually. All right. I'm just waiting for the laser to hit, and it doesn't happen. Well, that's a good job. American is doing a good job at making this thing not die. Oh! Now we got hit by some missiles, didn't we? Repair bots are out. I just love that these steering fins in the back doesn't get set on fire though. Oh, are the diff guns finally gonna get its... No. It is dealing some damage though. Look at that. The horror is looking very, very sad. Oh my god. That's a good point. Let's see if that was just luck or if this is the performance we can expect from American's AOG bomber. Here we go again. Laser is popping in there. We are destroying blocks here. But it doesn't set things on fire. It seems to have a plick panels all over the place. Oh, we got hit by some EMP. Is it protected against EMP? Wow, that's nice. It's a pretty compact and small design. Getting hit by an EMP missile for a compact, light, fast design is usually the end of the story. And then we can talk about dead in the water and not dead in the sky. It's not funny, GMODism. Your humor is lame. Anyways, the diff guns seem to have some troubles actually firing this time around. I wonder if the EMP possibly damaged the local weapon controller controlling the diff guns. That's possible too. Now we get some missiles popping in there, but they turn somewhere else. But I am a little bit surprised that we haven't seen... Oh! We haven't seen a fire on it yet, but now we can see a fire has been started here in the rubber, which is very flammable, but it actually put out itself, so that is kind of surprising actually. And now the horror is getting great chances of lacing this thing. But it doesn't do enough damage. It has more health than you might expect, this AOG bomber. Very impressive indeed. Well, it seems to be pretty well adapted for this. Since the placement of the rubber is as it is. Oh, the diff guns do work. Anyways, it doesn't really like spread too far. And it has some repairability, so it's not really a problem actually. That means American gets 5 out of 5 for this little sub-challenge. Good job! We're gonna move on to the cringe first submission. And I always have to check this. This is the MB4. The names on them are kinda ish similar, so I just mix them up all the time. Alright, so the MB4. Let's go. The laser is lasing here. Our little gun is gunning, and we have some wooden parts. No, we don't have some wooden parts. This is just metal. The bombing little bay is opening up, and the bombs are falling down like that, which the LAM system is trying to deal with. All right. The missiles? Oh, we are getting pretty hit by the missiles there, are we not? But so far it seems it does a decent job at staying alive actually. This bombing bay is probably a good addition, since a lot of the other designs had its missile units destroyed. But this only opens up when we have bombs, so a stray laser shot won't damage or kill one of the bombs at all. So that's actually pretty impressive. However, we have lost one engine and one propeller. I'm actually a little bit surprised we can fly decently well, but that is thanks to the jets here. Man, that's something I should have seen, or for the... Man, that's a... Wow! Cringe! This is extra points. Can we just take a moment and appreciate... On the right wing, we have the jets. They are fully active. And on the left wing, we have the propeller still alive. This means that it can provide, like, even thrust, even if one of the propellers has been taken. I wonder if this is actually calculated and thought out to be the case, because this is genius. You can see it still has air superiority and maneuver in the sky. That is pretty cool. Yeah, this little bombing flap lucka in English is anyways protecting the missiles, and we have a little backup system being able to use just jets here to even it out. That's absolutely fantastic, and it was even able to take it out and survive 3 minutes. So, cringes... MB4 definitely gets 5 out of 5 in case it does the same thing the next time we check it, which is now. Spawn one, a new one. Let's see what we're doing this time around. Wow, yeah, that's a good detail. Got hit by some EMP, but seems we are decently safe against EMP. So that's nice. Alright. Oh! We got pretty darn damaged there. Damn, that didn't take too long. Oh man! It's too slow, so it gets damaged. Oh, wow. So if we just repair this a little bit quickly to be nice, we're gonna see if it takes itself out of the water. It does. But man, that was so unfortunate. It was almost getting a 5 out of 5. But with that fail, we just died pretty quickly there. That's like more... 2, 3 out of 5. So together that would probably amount to a 3 out of 5 score. But due to the engine backup, that we can actually have another engine to even out the propulsion and still keep it alive even though our propeller is dead, gives us an extra point. So I will put Cringe's first submission to a score of 4 instead of 3, just because I like that a little bit. A lot, actually. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the other submission Cringe comes with. Now it died again. But it was pretty close to the enemy, so it, of course, was able to deal more damage than if we have respawned them in the third round. So, and I really like that backup thing with the propellers. That was so cool. This thing, however, looks a lot cooler. I like it has like hidden jet engines inside of there. When you hide jet engines like this, it looks like you don't want to have jet engines actually. And if you don't really want jet engines, stand still. I would like probably go in here and just say like uncheck this thing like that. So it kind of looks like it's only a propeller. You don't see that plumes. Anyways, we're gonna test this thing against the horror. So let's spawn it in and see what is happening. Let's see here. This is something with 5, I think. Missiles popping in. All right. Oh. Dealing some decent damage there. Is this MB5 possibly? Yes, this is the MB5. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, it seems to deal a lot of damage to the horror, so we're disabling that way. Man, that's some efficient firepower. What happened? Well, I guess we'll have to check if this is just luck, because now the MB5 is performing a 5 out of 5 the first round here. Disabling the enemy as quick as that, but it could have been luck too, so let's just check this out again. Alright, second round incoming here. We're keeping a pretty high speed and pretty far distance, so the laser doesn't cause too much trouble. That was a good evasion of the missiles too. Cringe has gotten a pretty cool shaping on this design. I really like this one. And we're trying to spiral a little bit to cause some more damage. We're really maneuvering away from these lasers. That's a pretty good job. And no. Lasers are popping in again. And now I don't know where they're aiming. I don't know what's happening. Wonder if this thing is loaded with some EMP and we just sniped the detection or whatever, because this is just... yeah, the laser just doesn't work right now. Now we have maneuvered to space though. I'm wondering what's happening. And now the laser does hit. This is weird. I'm almost suspecting that our control surfaces are damaged or something. I think we'll need to look at this a third time, because now we're just basically out of control. We're like doing some damage, but it's obvious we have trouble controlling this unit. Alright, here we go. MB5 coming at it again. No. We got EMP'd a little bit there. Seems like one thumb thing got taken out. The laser seems to have trouble hitting us this time too. No. Somewhat. And we are maneuvering a little higher again, but seems like we're surviving pretty well so far. I don't know if it's damaged or something, but it's just circling around up here, like never getting hit. We've been here for like a minute. Well, we're scoring pretty high in survivability, I'll give it that. So, yeah. We aren't getting hit by those lasers very often at all. All things considered, I think this is indeed a 5 out of 5. It has a pretty good score there. It just survives. It just isn't too damaged by the lasers, and it's definitely never hit by those missiles very often. And if it was hit by those EMP, it didn't do much damage either. That's great. So we're gonna move on to the last contestant, which is our Captain Y, or MIA Captain Y. Unfortunately, a lot of the decals which this was decorated with is gone, like the ominous face down there. But that is because, again, as I said, the issues with using Discord as a image hosting server, that doesn't work anymore. Anyways, we're gonna see what our MIA Captain Y's design can survive the horror here. So we're gonna pop in the horror here. And the 409 doesn't have too much firepower, but I do suspect it has a decent amount of bulk. And it's possible too that a lot is just mimics actually. And we're gonna see that on how the fires are spreading, if they are. Because, of course, now we have fire in this game, which means that it can cause some trouble to some of the bombers. Oh man, no, the missiles just turned away. Well, as said, we don't know how much is mimics on this thing, so it's a little bit interesting to see if it's gonna cause fires here and there, or really not. Using these, what is it called? Applique blocks, as we can see here, as kind of decorations. Just looks so cool. Alright. We have a mix of alloy and metal on it. And some of those missiles are indeed hitting it, but it's been more than a minute without much damage. The laser is getting a damage streak here, and here we could see some EMP damage creeping in. Oh no. Oh no. 409 down. Oh, are we doing like the fly fish I built before, like a diving maneuver? And that's a great way to put out any potential fires. I'll give it that. Indeed, okay. Finally, it tries to deal some damage too. But it's slowly getting, slowly but surely eaten up by this laser. I'm gonna see if it causes functional issues, because I feel like these diving into the water is a new behavior. And we are ascending, and oh yes, normal, plain behavior. I'll be very scared if an airliner I'm board tried to do something like that. Also probably very dead if it tries to do something like that. Planes are not supposed to dive, except the fly fish. That's supposed to dive. Which is already in the second chapter. Neat. Well, it's been 3 minutes and it has done a okay job at ish staying alive, except kinda now. It's kinda dead. This ain't too good. So it kinda doesn't survive 3 minutes. Right, so we're gonna rerun this battle and see if we get any different results. Look at that. Fire. Alright, let's test this again. And I'll need to restart the timer. There we go. And there we can see, okay, the laser is trying to target it. It's moving pretty slowly but surely, so the laser is doing a pretty scary job. It's just blasting, every time it hits, it just blasts something out. It's a little bit worrying, and those missiles, they hit too. It does, however, take a very long time to beat the B409 down to any type of non-functional mode. So it's absolutely not useless on survivability. It has pretty decent survivability. It has some serious trouble at dealing damage, however. It doesn't deal damage very much. That's really not something we're measuring in this time, but if the plane is able to deal damage to the horror so that it can't damage it anymore, well, that's a good work too. That's how Adnecreus could get really high scores too, I believe, I remember correctly. Not totally sure, but that's definitely how the Invader got that high score. Well, it's crashing down here again, and it took kind of 2 minutes this time. So I will say that it takes a long time to beat this thing down to submission, but it's consequently does that. Which means that the score of this thing's survivability isn't great. I think what it ends up at, or it is good, but it's not great. Like, it does survive for a pretty long time, but the end score ends up being 4 and not 3, because after all, it took kind of 3 minutes. It kind of succeeded the first time around. It beat the 3-minute mark, but just barely. And now this time, it's at 2.5 minutes before it crashed down in the water. So it does survive kind of long, but it's definitely not a 5 out of 5. So I'll give it a score in the endpoint. And there we have it. That is the survivability. We have done 4 parts of the survivability, and we're gonna continue next time with checking flights, where many of the ships together will fight a specific craft. So that's gonna be very fun indeed. And after that, we're gonna test it with a squadron, so even more of them. And it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, you need to leave a like on this video, and you should definitely subscribe if you haven't already. If you want early access to some of the videos, join the channel and be a member of the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM. And if you want to be a member of the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM, Patreon is your friend. Otherwise, just self-assign Matros 3rd class in the Discord, and you are enlisted in the Army of GMODISM as a regular soldier and can participate in the this thing's Season 2. AOG Trials Season 2. This is Season 1, which has been drawn out a little bit in time, but whatever. We're back, which is good. This is your Lord High Admiral Eric, and we are very much signing out. GMODISM. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very welcome back to From the Depth. Here we are at the beautiful office. We're gonna take a safe sip from this ammo. Anyways, today we're gonna continue the fight between your bombers and the Deepwater Guard crossbones. As you already know the rules, this is the last final challenge that will be deciding if your craft will be the winner or not the winner. And we have a very interesting way to deal with the list. It doesn't make sense, but I guess it kind of works. It's not the usual order, which makes it a little bit more fun and less predictable. So let's dive into the game. And if that wasn't very obvious, if you want to support the channel, you can actually buy these bottles. Anyways, what we're going to get into now is Scooby Mansion's 3-wall. This beautiful craft, which is built to be good and should not be confused with the Scooby Mansion's Pigeon, which is not made to be good. Anyways, it has a cost of 31,000, which make it so we can have 3 of them in combat to face the crossbones. Alright, and there we have it. A crossbones has been spawned 3,500 meters away, which I do remember was the thing we had in the previous videos. Yes, there was only one video of a flight left. And if you're wondering what the hell is a flight, well, a flight is a unit of aircrafts which is less than a squadron. So this game might have you believe that the squadron is like 4 planes or something. That's too few. It's too few to be a squadron. If it's only like a couple, 2-6 planes or something like that, it is called a flight. So I did my Wikipedia research before deciding what to call this last challenge, and I did seriously consider to having a squadron facing a even more expensive and big craft, but that would be a bit too many planes in the air. Oh man, poor thing. That would lag some bits too. Okay, here we have the, oh no. So those crams aren't having a really big health. And oh no, of course they're doing better than the pigeon. But it's quite unfortunate that the crossbones AA is pretty reasonably good to take out those crams. And the crams that is fired from the crossbones, they are timed fused. They are accurate enough to do some damage to our poor contestants. Well, this will be kind of interesting to see what's gonna happen there. Alright, so none of them has went down yet. That's good to know. But the crossbones is still at 93%, so it doesn't really look too good, does it? Fun fact, I actually got the pigeon now in my folder. We might make a AOG craft out of the shape of it, but make it a tiny little bit better. So thanks to Scubimation for sending over the hollowed out pigeon that we're gonna have some fun with at a later date. Alright. Oh no! That's a bad hit. The first pigeon is down. No, when the other... I kind of missed that the other two are already shot down. Well, the 3 pigeons are down. We'll have to send in the next wave here. So, maybe that was a tiny bit too close actually, but it will only be in the pigeon, what am I saying? It will only be in the 3-wall's favor. This is not the pigeon, this is the 3-wall. I'm sorry for mixing them up. The pigeon is a joke and these are not. And the first submission here, the 3-wall, has some pretty good points in earlier challenges. So we know for a fact that they do have teeth. Alright. But oh no. They're getting a little bit too close. They are getting hit by crams there. And oh. We had a cram bomb hitting there, I think. You can see many of those cram bombs are... Oh, that missed the mark. But many of them are shot down. That's the most common way they won't get out of there. Did you know we have a Army of GMODISM official shirt? If you want to get it, you can too. I haven't been very good at trying to sell any merch, but it is there. And eventually I hope I will be able to work out some kind of, I don't know, nice way to integrate it in videos, but it's not that important. So, let's see here. Damn, that was a really bad hit. Oh no. Oh no. Crossbones is at 84%. Looks like the 3-wall isn't doing very well, actually. We can see it shoots down there, it goes up and down, but it gets hit by those crams. They can shoot upwards. So they have a cool movement scheme in the air. But they're just not dealing enough damage, and those ships here, their time is pretty limited. Do we have any main guns left? No. Those frontal diff guns are not doing much either. Whoa, why am I locking on to some weird stuff there? That's a really bad hit. We caught fire here too. And that one is down as well. This one seems to have no way to battle, so I think the only right way is to go back at least 2,000 meters and load in the third wave here. So I do strongly believe that Scuvimation may have had a little bit higher hopes for the 3-wall, but it seems it was not able to deliver too well in this challenge here. But of course, the last wave needs to say its piece first before we can even think about setting any score. Machine guns are machining. Projectile avoidance has acted, but was it just me, or did it just not shoot their diff guns? I didn't see them firing at all. Because it's kind of weird. Or are those... Because the crams are... Yeah, they're like from under there. So I don't know what's up with these diff guns. Did an update bork them or something, or what happened? Or is it, are they set up in a weird way to not target stuff? What's happening? Oh, bam! That was a really bad hit on our flight mate there. Well, we'll see. We'll see what's happening here. Cram bombs are dropping down, of course, but ooh, look at that! The cross bonus is down to 75%. It has still some combat capabilities, but you can see there is a lot of surface damage all over. Some of the turrets seems to be disabled in the back there, and everything is pretty damaged. So by now, the crossbones has taken some pretty heavy damage. It truly looks like it's not gonna be able to recover at all from this. But the question is if the third wave will be able to defeat the crossbones or not. It looks like it's gonna be a real tight challenge here. It all depends on how the crossbones crams hit, basically. Because if they are shot down, if the 3-walls are shot down here, well, there ain't gonna be a fourth wave, and we'll have to look at the health points of the crossbones and make a decision from there. Oh. But indeed, those front guns, those diff guns, I wonder what's up with them. It's a bit strange. It's a bit strange indeed. Oh, and now we only have one in the air. Oh no. I think that's it. No. It still survives a little bit here. The cool backfiring missiles are working pretty well. There we had a diff gun bomb. 69 percentages. Alright. Where will the 3-well do next here? Comes in for another round here. We got 2 diving missiles. Those diving missiles, they are nicely designed and they do some serious damage. We got the cram bomb popping down there too. But now the crossbones has a response, and the last 3-well is pretty dead in the water. Well, there we have it. Right. So that wasn't exactly amazing, but it did do some pretty good damage against the crossbones. It almost kind of took it out. Like the Ovos design, the phosphorus bomber, it was, however, it lacked the survivability. The white phosphorus bomber had amazing survivability, even though they did not manage to take on the crossbones a lot either. I mean, it didn't either despawn it, and I do think the crossbones, I'm not sure I remember, but I think it's a little bit in a more workable state now. So of course that would set us, I guess a 4 is pretty good score here. It did some severe damage, but it took 3 waves to get that severe damage, and all of the designs got shot down from the air, was not able to dodge those, and now they're just sitting back there. So it will be a 4. Next out, we have Sean Reed's 4th submission. So here we have them, and they will of course face the same crossbones, which we're gonna spawn. All right. So we're gonna make sure. All right. Okay, never mind. They have successfully launched. All right. The AA is shooting at them. Oh, damn. Oh, no. Well, that's sad. It's burning and falling down. This looks very cinematic, though. You'll have to give it that. Well, next one is popping in here. Oh no. And those AA, man, they're just having a very bad day. Alright, a lot of missiles are spraying all over the place, and we have those spraying, revolving shrapnel guns, you know, the simple weapon. Spammy shots. Oh, there we have many on. Oh, there we got the singular shot. And those can really cut off barrels. Pretty hardcore. So, they're not a joke. It seems, however, that not many of the missiles do get through, actually. But sometimes it looks like, oh, missiles won't get through. Well, we have another of these sunspots. A 4th submission falling down. Oh no! I do have to give them this. They really go out with a bang. They look super cinematic. They really look super cinematic. So we're gonna have the second wave in. And I just realized, well, that's a mistake. We spawned in 4 of them because I didn't count properly. They cost 29,000, which amounts to 90,000 in total, right? Yeah, so we can actually have only 3 ones in a wave. I guess we'll, for this ones, give the Sunspot a free little extra plane in the start there due to its lower cost. Even though that's not completely fair, we did see the performance of it during the first wave. So I do not think that it matters very much. It really looks like it's gonna get not too good scores. We're gonna see though, we have a third wave to spawn in whenever it's time for that. So we're gonna see what's happening. I did just check that I didn't have repair tentacles on and that I was sitting in this craft, because that would have been super unfair though. It's doing a dive. Oh. Please engage the revolving blast guns. What are we doing? Now they're just circling and not doing much damage. Alright. Do we have an attack dive? No, we do not. Oh no. Not there either. Alright. We'll have a swarm incoming there. Oh no. Somebody got hit. I love that you're using like cram cannons against airplanes, and it's really fun. I actually made a anti-air cram cannon that is an airburst cram. So basically it explodes in front of the target and showers it with a lot of fragments. I thought that was pretty clever and funny. So I have an airburst AA cram cannon, which will be in the next upload of the files to decommissioned officers in the Army of GMODIST who can access all of my From the Depth build files. I do share a lot of them publicly though, and not prefabs and turrets of course, because we can't do that. But I share many of the vehicles, like all vehicles that are built for commissioned officers, which is my patrons if you're new here. They are uploaded publicly and can be downloaded on Steam Workshop. So you can just search for GMODIST on Steam Workshop. You'll find me, click my name, and you have the full library of uploaded vehicles. And even though I don't share the prefabs and turrets publicly, many of the crafts use the prefabs and turrets. So if you download the crafts, you can easily get them there. But if you have $1 a month or more to spare extra every month, well, then you could also support me and simplify your life. Anyways, the third wave is doing some serious damage to the crossbones, but we're having some cinematic birds falling out of the sky. Well, it's time for the third wave. And there we go. We're gonna follow this one. When it does it combat dives. Missiles away. Ooh! Blast gun got a few fires, but it dives away too quickly. It should have fired a couple of rounds more. It would have been doing so much more damage. Like, if this goes close and just smash those revolving blast guns into the face of the crossbones, you will clip some cram barrels there. And if you clip those cram barrels, you're gonna make your life a lot more simpler, I'll tell you that, my sunspots. Well, we're gonna see what happens here then. And we have a lot of superficial damage to the crossbones, but to be honest, the crossbones seems to be in a pretty dandy shape. You can see the frontal turrets are chilling here, but I don't think they're inactive. I just think there is nobody at that location right now. No, exactly, they work absolutely fine. Together with all of the other cram cannons, most of the AA guns are completely functional too. So, I mean, it does do damage to the crossbones, but even though it has 10% subtracted, the damage is so superficial. It's actually doing really well. It's doing really well. It's like absolutely no problem here. Alright. This boy is gonna go down any second, right? Look at that. Oh. I kind of forget that the sunspot actually has shields. I haven't seen a frag being deflected yet though. The angle is pretty sharp of course, but it's pretty cool, it does have shields. Oh! Nope, now I locked onto the wrong thing. Damn. If you want to know how to do some turret control and do those cinematic whatever lock onto stuff and move about and make the camera move faster so you don't have to wait while you're looking around, I have an instant tutorial about camera control. I even have an instant tutorial about cool photographies. There are some tweaks you can do with bloom settings that makes everything looks great. Now I don't have it activated now because I was just building before this recording and forgot to turn it on, but it looks pretty nice if you're into that, poor thing. But anyways, if you want to watch that, check my instant tutorial about that. It's in the instant tutorial playlist. And if you know how to do that, there is probably something you need to learn, and that's also in the instant tutorial playlist. Just saying. Alright, so we got some explosions all around here. Oh, that's a pretty neat hit with the blast guns. Look at that. It may be dying, it may be falling out of the sky, but it went out with a pretty hardcore bang there. Look at that. That's some pretty good damage just when dying, so that's pretty lucky, I must say. But even if that's the case, that was so cool. So the crossbones is at the 77%, which is nice, but well, oh bam, and there it got completely destroyed there. Now we did accidentally give it an extra plane in the start, so we're not gonna be too kind, of course. It's 77%. That's a good bit worse than the previous Challenger with the Squimation there, which means that this will... It did damage, but 3 waves didn't take it out, even if it got an extra one. Well, that makes the Sean Reed's 4th submission get a score of 3 out of 10. Next out we have the Daggery. The crossbones it spawned, the Daggery is also built by Sean Reed. So this is Sean Reed's first submission. Alright, the Daggeries have dived up, went into combat. They have a cost of 31,000 materials, which makes 3 Daggeries for a flight. Fragments are flying all over the place. The Daggery, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're just moving somewhere else here. Alright, we're going in for an outer combat dive. Might have been smart. Dodging those AA guns is probably a good idea. Right, so there we have an APS shot. Pretty nice stuff, but man, I don't think this is gonna hurt the crossbones very much. Oh, we only have 2 Daggeries alive here. We're gonna have to do a lot of damage to be able to compete with this. Bombs are falling down there, but man, those civs actually shoot down the bombs falling down from the sky. Not a good sign at all. Crossbones still at 100%. The Dagger is struggling to not get hit by the flak. Wait, what? Why can't I see? Why can't we see aircrafts from underwater? It's like so faint. Weird. It's like we are getting the water bottom reflected upwards. It's like a mirror. That looks so jackass. Whatever. The daggery is looking pretty nice though when it's doing its fighting. But I'm thinking this is gonna perform a lot worse than the sunspot actually, because it doesn't have the ability to deal that damage. It is more evasive, but I think we'll need a pretty good amount of flights of the daggery to be able to deal with something like the crossbows. And this is of course because the civs is shooting down the bombs there. It needed to either dive closer to deliver those bombs, or using some thrusters or something to make the bombs deliver to the target faster. Something like that. Was that a tiny bomb? No? Was it just some trash? Funnily enough, the crossbows has went down 1%, and the daggers are kind of keeping out of sight somehow. Oh. Well, it doesn't anymore. That one is not in the best health condition. I'm feeling we are almost maneuvering a little bit too far away here. Well, we got targeted by the AA system. Now something happened. The bombs are being dropped. Question is if the AA system will be able to react on them. And they were not. Oh yes, and here we go. Oh damn! No, it didn't take it out. That was a perfect hit to shoot down those pesky AA guns. Unfortunately, it failed doing that. Well, we only have we have 2 daggers in the sky actually. Where is the other one? I think it's semi-dead probably. Is it up there? No. It's probably just sitting over there. Well, I do think it's time to spawn in the second wave. And see if the second wave will be able to deal with the crossbows any better. They want to be pretty evasive, as we do know. Ooh. Ah. It feels like they're doing a little bit too big maneuvers to avoid getting hit here. It's cool, of course, that they have a pretty good top speed of 144 meters per second. That's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite deliver the damage we would have hoped. Right. And it tends to kind of get into the worst angles and just get shot down. Now this bird is burning and it's gonna fall down and die. Well, damn. Shit happens, I guess. Crossbows is at 98%. I feel like the daggers are more doing cool moves than doing any damage. Honestly. We're gonna spawn in the third wave of the daggers. That will only be to the benefit of the daggers, because then they have dummy targets, not dummy targets, but then they have damaged daggers to keep the AI a little bit focused while it tries to deal some damage. Alright. And they spread out in a really interesting manner though. It's like you spawn in a couple of them, but now you just don't see any of them. I think it's pretty cool though that the crossbones is being able to do damage at so many directions at once. And there we got a really good hit with the bombs there. Indeed. I feel that if the fire update had been out before the submission deadline for the trials, I think a lot of people would have submitted incendiary bombs and stuff like that. And that would have been perfect against something like the crossbows. And the crossbows is pretty, oh no, pretty limited on what it does, so that would probably not have been the best idea. Some of the daggers had just went out of control there. Well then, we'll just have to chill a little bit and see if any damage is being dealt. Bombs! Bombs! Ooh! Nice hit. And the other one? No. There it comes. Oh, yes, look at that. That's a perfect hit. Oh my god, look at that. We kind of didn't see that, but the a turret actually got disabled by a bomb that seemed to have creeped up under the crossbones. So that's nice. It did some damage towards the crossbones. It did disable one of the turrets. Well, we're gonna see if anything else happens here. Do we have any? Oh no. We got some daggers getting lost in space. I think we'll have to disregard them. I wonder how they went up there. Oh, they're kind of at 100%. How did they get up there? They must have flown there while maneuvering or dodging the crossbones and then just gotten stuck in space. So to be... Well, we only have one dagger left to be considered ish alive. And we're running out on time a little bit here for this particular participant here. Like, we'll need to see if it deals some damage very soon here. Or we'll have to look at it and see its results at this point. Well, that one got shot down. And the ones that made into space, they shouldn't be... they shouldn't have went to space. So the crossbones is down to 88%. But that's after three waves. So yeah, I mean, it did damage. It did a little bit more damage than a tiny little bit of damage. So I will say that this is definitely a strong 2. But definitely worse than the Sunspot, which actually did more substantial damage. So, next one. The next combatant is actually Sean Reed's third submission, the Aspirant Helicopter. This has some pretty big bombs going on there, so I'm having high hopes for the Aspirant here. There we go, Crossbones is spawned. Now, I do think they might have some problems dodging the crossbones. Oh, or maneuvering. Oh no. Okay. Sorry. Not meant to jinx you. I no longer have high hopes for the Aspirant. Alright. Combat mode has been activated. These diving up and down is probably the only thing that may keep this alive, but we might have too much flak damage in the air, so we might have some trouble here. Alright. Ooh, bam! Alright, that's what we're talking about. The Aspirant Helicopter definitely has better chances of dealing damage here. It's really unfortunate for the Aspirant Helicopter. It has a cost of 27,000, but of course 27,000, if you're gonna fit into 100k of materials, you're still gonna end up with 3. If it was 25,000, well then it would have been... We didn't tell about this limit, of course, beforehand, so nobody could have guessed. But making it just a little cheaper than the max amount is frankly not a good idea for this particular challenge. Either if you make it a lot cheaper, like some participant did, then you'll get an extra craft here. Now, for the Sunspot, that was only a mistake, but I mean, in general rules, those that were cheaper could have, well, like one extra. Like, I think the White Phosphorus Bomber was under that mark, right? It was 22,000, that's under 25, so then we can fit 4. Okay, we lost a bit of recording there, but we're fighting on well here with the aspirant helicopters. They're still at like 100%, almost all of them. They are just not getting hit by these crams. They're diving up and down. I think they have a pretty good chance of taking on the crossbones. It feels like this might take a little bit of time, but it's getting there slowly and surely. Yes, that's pretty nice actually. Ooh, you can see they just have enough health. They have enough health to get through here, and they do deal damage. Man, if these were incendiary. Oh, the tower is gone now. Okay, that's some good moves. Ooh. Or crossbones. It's not a good crossbone day today. 89 percentages. And the aspirant that got damaged even got repaired itself. So that's definitely good times. All right. Look, we actually have a dead aspirant here. It just fell down. Poor thing. Now it's getting targeted too. Well, anyways, that can happen. But the other aspirants... Oh no, we have another dead one. Right, so they are now falling down, but the crossbones is down to 86 percentages. So that is some decent results. But it seems that it's not gonna get... take on the crossbones here on the first round. Ooh, but it did a pretty good job. That has to be said. Isn't it pretty funny to watch this thing though? It just bobs up and down like this. Like a very nice sine wave. Well, it's time to send in the second wave here. Because the battle has stagnated. The existing aspirant seems to have a bit problem delivering his missiles, so maybe the laser targeter is borked or something, but the French ones do not have such a trouble at all. And they are popping in here pretty nicely, and most of the missiles hit very well, and we're getting some damage done. Oof. So scary with those flags here, isn't it? A little bit scary. I just like these. They're just dropping down here and then they just speed towards the target. Laser locked on. It's very nice. This one seems a tiny bit sad though. Well, I don't think that's gonna get very recovered. I like that the AA guns is actively trying. Oh no, now the beer barrels disappear. That's too bad. Or whatever pirates drink. That's probably rum, right? Alright. How many do we have alive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. 4, rather. As a second wave, though, crossbones is down to 78. I do believe that the aspirant second wave will be able to disable the crossbones. We'll have to wait and see a little bit, of course, but you can see it's doing some pretty consistent and reliable damage, and that's the most important aspect when it comes to scoring these types of results. Well, the battle has progressed a little bit here. We can see we're still dealing some damage. I think some aspirants have indeed, or some aspirants have fallen out of the sky. So we have 2, 3, 4 ones that are in pretty good shape, and they are indeed continuously delivering missiles here. So, if you'll be able to take it out in the second round, it's going to be a pretty good score. It will be a base score of 8 if this managed to do it. But it's doing it a little bit slow, so we're gonna see if it's gonna do it in any reasonable amount of time. And it actually looks like it's gonna do that. So, and we can almost be very certain about that. However it goes, the aspirants will be, of course, be able to take out the crossbones during the third round, if that is necessary. We can see it's still dealing the reliable damage. Slowly but surely, it's doing a great job. The aspirant is probably gonna get some pretty good score. Not a 10 out of 10, of course, because to do that you're required to take it out during the first round. But that's really hard to do. And it might be so that you'd have to use a combination of weapons to be able to do that. Yeah, probably so. Maybe diff guns like Kovraks you see in the first flight video. That's a way to do it. I think if you went in close, dropping some heavy bombs plus revolving blast guns, I think that could have do it too. And of course, I wonder if not charge lasers would have been able to do the job, because they start fires now too. All right. Lots of blocks are falling off here, and they are just getting in there. That's super nice. All of the aspirants are still in the air. They are of course repairing themselves when they are getting a little bit damaged. So we can be pretty sure that it's gonna go pretty well here. Look at this terrifying thing. They just go slowly towards the target. And the funny thing is that these are... Why do these missiles survive a lot? Well, because these are thumper heads. So when they are just moving in slowly like this, they are like doing no damage. But when moving fast, they're doing a lot of damage. And thump is a pretty good strat to use against something like the crossbones, actually. Look at that. It's beautiful to see. Blocks falling off like this. There we have it. The crossbones is actually despawning. That's a good job. That's definitely a good job. Very good. So Sean Reed's... let's see here, which one in the order is this? This is Sean Reed's third submission. That's definitely a good 8 points. Very nice. Next out, we have Netramira's AOG Hummingbird, which is absolutely super cool, fantastic little design. We're not controlling any of the weapons, we're not doing anything weird. We are now gonna spawn the crossbones at the required distance, and we're gonna see what's happening here. We'll just have to love this flying little movement, won't we? And they are acting pretty sneakily here to avoid those AA guns. Oh, are we moving in a smart way to not get shot by the AA guns? Can that be true? The ornithopters, these are called the hummingbird, but they are an ornithopter if you don't know what that is. Then you should read Dune. That's some good audiobooks. Anyways, oh no! Something happened with our AI. I don't think our diving move should look like this. Oh damn, that's really bad. I had such high hopes, and it's really dead. Mayday, mayday. Oh no, oh no. That is... sacre bleu. And anyways, we need to spawn in the third wave. We can't have that. They didn't even reach the target to be able to deal damage. That's very unfortunate. I had high hopes for the hummingbird here, and it just doesn't deliver. Well, we're gonna see what's happening here. Cram shells incoming. Looking like we are having some pretty... Ooh, look, tandem repair. Oh no, tandem collide. Anyways, will the diff guns be able to fire? No? If it doesn't, we have very poor chances of dealing damage before we're getting shot down. Right, so we're not gonna have a top score. We're not gonna take out the crossbones during the first shot. Now we are having... Will we be able to do any damage? Or are we gonna have a 0 point? We are not gonna have a 0 point. There we had some rods. Falling down, doing some damage. 3% has been deducted from the crossbones. That is something. Poor thing, look at this. Oh! Oh! That's some savage damage. The spinning wheel, an auxiliary turret, and some other junk is completely destroyed. If it would have hit the AI, I would have been so surprised. That would mean it would land a pretty decent score after all. I don't think that's gonna happen though. That's too much to hope for. What are we doing? Like, what are... Look, it's just chilling up there. Shoot! The darn diff bombs. No. It just won't. Well, in any case, there we had some other diff rods getting shot. Parts are falling, that's nice. Oh no! One hummingbird is a barbecue bird. The barbecue has been served. You're very welcome to eat. There is lots to have. Flappy McBoom face is, or the clones of his brain at least, is crying in their cooking AI mainframe boxes. Right, so do we have any combatant that's actually fighting here? What are you doing? You're just speeding around. You're lucky there are no rules for escaping for combat from this particular challenge. Oh no, it gets hit by crabs. It should just have a little bit of projectile avoidance and that would have been not happening. Well, the third wave. Let's bring the third wave. Right. The hummingbirds are popping in here. Oh no. AA guns ate my block I was sitting on. Okay, that one is down. Is it gonna belly flop on the crossbones? No, but it might have. Well, that's a sad story. If it at least would have belly flopped on it, it would have dealt some damage, you know, more. Man, I had high hopes for the hummingbird, but their survivability against the crossbows is too poor, so it's just getting very sad, isn't it? It is. That was a rhetorical question, if you didn't know. Right, another... Whoa, that's a pretty good hit, though. Well, let's see here. APS parts, but no AI parts. Are you gonna... No, you're not either. You're not gonna belly flop either. Well, the hummingbird is waiting for better times, and I think it's waiting for backup too, if I'm being honest. Thing is that we are on our third wave, so there is no backup to be had. That's all you're getting. All right, diff rods, go. That's some damage. Only cramp cannon though. Well, they're obviously easy targets, and the crossbones is down to 77% though. So I will say that's something. I think that's pretty close to what we had from the sunspot here. That's very close indeed. Or we're also having survivability issues here. It is clearly seriously damaged. With some more luck, you could see that it could have potentially had some crit damage. But we didn't have any luck today. Well, this is gonna be pretty shot down pretty soon. I'd suspect it just needs to spin around and hit the... Oh, it looks like the crossbones engines are kind of taken out. But whenever the cram cannons can shoot at it, I think it's pretty much game over. The AA guns, they can take it out too. They're just so slow, those shots. Look at that. And then when it starts burning, it's so much game over. Oh, they actually didn't hit too much. Will we have another blast of diff guns? Are you able to provide a surprising event here? Will you? Oh no! That's so close to the AI. And now I think it's gonna be very much game over. Look at that. No? Yes? Well, it's falling down, but oh yeah, there we have it. Ram shots. Well, the crossbones is at 74%, yes. So it wasn't able to being taken out here, but I think it's a pretty similar damage to the Sunspot actually. Yeah, it's very similar. So that will also land. That will also land Netrameira on a 3. I would all actually have thought it would perform a lot better, but man, that first round they all just got shot down and didn't even deliver damage. If it had some more luck, I think it could have taken out the crossbones in the second round, but not today. Our last combatant for this video will be kinda sexy's Eldrosh Kosh. Or I mix up what's the name of the ship and what's the name of the craft. But whatever, it's going to fight. And this is the first time I actually have to drag out my calculator. Wow! Kinda sexy is gonna fight with 5. That's like the upper limit for a flight. We're gonna have 5 of them against the crossbones because that's the closest to fair we can have. Isn't that pretty funny? By the way, if you want to support the channel, you need to look at our options. We have YouTube memberships. If you want to be in the ecclesiarchy of YouTube, of GMODIST I mean, then you're a YouTube member. And if you are that, then you can get early access to all of my videos. If you want to be a commissioned officer in the Army of GMODIST, you get all of my files that I play in all different games. And on the higher tiers, I'll build something for you. Then there is the Ministry of GMODIST, which is the newest option, and there we'll have some discount on merch on that store specifically, but that is actually the way that is a least amount that goes away into transfer fees, and the most amount that just goes to me, basically. So that's like the best general support option with the least amount of rewards. Now, it feels like we're doing some pretty interesting maneuvers here. We have our... oh no. Weird. It's like they're not really working right here. Why are they not... They're moving slower than I remembered. Oh no. And the guns are getting... I mean the missiles are getting gunned down in air. And the AA guns seem to do pretty short work of these warplanes. What's happening? I wonder if this is another case of updates has been messing up the poor submissions. It's so weird. This one is... they're just falling down. I think we had that issue before when the engine got damaged. Maybe it's like that the engines are getting hurt very easily, and then they're losing thrusting power, because this is of course thrusters and not what are they called? Not the custom jet engines that run on fuel directly. These actually need engine power to run for some weird reason. That's from the depth logic for you. Okay, nothing is happening here. The two remaining in sky, they're basically doing no damage. So I feel we're going to spawn in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of them. And we're gonna see if they get to a better start. I kind of forget, these look so darn quick, but their top speed is actually 5 meters per second, which is pretty slow for a plane like this. Alright, and now they're doing their weird maneuvers. Man, they looked nice when they went towards the crossbones information, but well, not anymore it seems. So this is the second wave. The crossbones is at 99%. Oh, there we actually had the first round of missiles coming in here. So maybe the AA system has been damaged a bit. Bam, that's a brutal hit. Look at that. It's falling down, burning very cinematically. You know what? I think we can listen to the music now. The crossbones music. If we had that entire 4 parts of the trials, I would have been turning crazy. But for a couple of times each time, I can definitely listen to it. Anyways, now the missiles are actually falling down and hitting here. So some of them seem to have moved into position, which is nice. Now it's just a question. Where are you on the menu, the list here? It's like... This is weird. Why? Oh, never mind. Oh, there we are. There we are. I find you. Good. So I'll know where to place the scores. Ah, that's some very weak damage. I think these missiles, if I remember correctly, are just purely explosive, and they're tiny. They do so little damage. We can see many of them are kind of damaged. We have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 in a combatable position. Locking on above like this. But it seems that there are too many of them, and the AA guns are having a little bit of trouble to actually target all of them. And since the Kosh kind of sexy submissions is kind of... Oh no, those got taken out. Since they're kind of cheap, we can have 5 of them for each wave. So I think it's soon time to bring in the 3rd wave. Yep. Now I feel too few of them are actually dealing damage in a reasonable capacity. With this one burning down, this one seems to be spinning, and this one, we might have one that's dealing damage, but man, that thing is so far away. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look at that. They're like some kind of weird... When they kind of start like this, they're like some kind of weird spinning starfish in the air. They look like some kind of star. Just sitting there, rising. It would have been funny if they were like perfectly pentagonal, and that they moved in a upwards direction. That makes me remember a series I saw very much, which is very cool. And I don't recall what it's called. Anyways. Look at that. I mean, we are dealing damage, but the damage is pretty darn sad. Well, I guess we'll just wait and see for a bit and see if it deals any more damage. More cinematics. Well, we've waited for some time here, and the crossbones is slowly, very slowly, but surely picking them out of the sky. The crossbones has some pretty good health still. It's at 93%, so of course it did a scratch, so that's definitely 1 point. But it's just not able to take it out. It's just so superficial damage. But I will say that somehow they still have a pretty reasonable survivability. Like, it takes a good while for the crossbones to actually shoot them out of the sky. And some of them are just chilling on weird locations. So the final score for kinda sexist design will be a strong 2. But it's just not dealing damage anywhere near anywhere that would be practical in this scenario. You can see that almost all of the systems are working. Yeah, it's like very few things that has been damaged. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the second part of the flight. If you did it, please leave a like, and if you haven't already, you should probably subscribe to the channel. Anyways, we have the support options over here. Remember, I'm live on Twitch, usually once a week, and you have my other channels too, the GMODIST, where you find all of my past live streams and some extra content, and the Relaxism channel, where you find all of my relaxing and chill out videos to maybe help you sleep or focus or something. In any case, huge thanks to Admiral Scooby Rocks, Commodore Owen, Lieutenant Anto, Cravey, Parvagreed, Vincent Veritas, and all our cadets. This is your host, GMODIST. We're signing out. Or Eric of GMODIST is more correct. This is your Lord High Admiral Eric. We're signing in here with some more trials. GMODIST. This time we will be checking out the third flight of the AOG bombers versus the crossbones. Same story as last time. So let's dive into it. So here we have the Storihana made by Adnekrias. This thing is a little bit too expensive, so actually there should only be 2 of them spawned in per wave. However, we already deducted a massive amount of points for the too costly thing. So the first wave, we will allow it to spawn in with 3 of these, and the following refill waves will only be 2 for each. So that way it will be somewhat fair, I'd say. Right. So the crossbows has been spawned in. And they are long range firing up there. Let's see here, the AA guns are targeting another design. It's a little bit sad that all of the bombers are kind of not having their decals, since the decals had Discord links before. But for those that have a chance of ending up in the fleet, they can, of course, they will be expected to update the design with the new decals, I should say. In any case, this thing has gotten shot at. That's a bit unfortunate. Alright, so we're doing the AC-130 tactics. Just providing some good old long distance firepower. I kinda... Yeah, it has some missiles too. I do think these are not gonna reach though, are they? The crossbones anti-air guns would be quite likely to be able to shoot them down before they reach. Yes, indeed. They will. Looks like the crossbones has taken minimal damage so far. But ooh, this turret actually got EMP'd. If it successfully EMPs all turrets, they have a reasonable chance of actually disabling the crossbones, which would be quite interesting. Well, let's see here. There is only one of the crafts that are even flying. No, none of them are actually flying. Well, that is gonna be a lot of luck. So we're having a refill wave here. I would imagine that they would be a tiny little bit more evasive. What is pretty cool about this design though is the asymmetrical design. I like asymmetrical designs. Alright. See if the missiles come in this time? No, they are not. So that's the bummer here. The missiles usually get shot down. The two new ones are not very hurt though. But I wonder, let's see here. The cannon that shoots in there, it's pretty accurate, but it doesn't really target a very sensitive area. I think the crossbones is just too big and meaty target for the story Hannah to be able to deal with. I saw a missile popping in there though, but we didn't get a turret hit this time. We need some extremely lucky hits for them to actually disable anything here. But I do suspect that the crossbones crams ain't extremely accurate either, since they are diving up and down with a pretty nice little sine curve, which definitely makes a lot of the cram shells actually miss. Will they have time to hit something important? Why did that not disable the detection? That was so close. Isn't it, like, do we not want to steal this this barrel design from within here? I think it's pretty cool. This is a proper pirate rum party hall. Alright. Let's see here then. Do we have one story Hannah is intact, two are not very hurt. I'm almost thinking that spawning in the third wave will actually help the story Hannah a lot. Well, damn. Yeah, that one is pretty dead there. Now we only have like dead ones, so whoops. What am I saying? Load in 2 new ones. We shall see how that goes. I do kind of want to remember what ammo we have. That's an armor-piercing high explosive round. That was pretty well aimed. Well, it over-penetrated, but that was just a little bit above the AI compartment. So, the crossbones has taken some damage. One turret is disabled. But the general score here is looking like it's gonna be pretty low. I can see it still shoots down the incoming missiles. We're only dealing some slow, steady, but not that serious APS damage. You can see these turrets are still online. Ooh. Are we gonna have a collision? No, we're not. That's almost a little bit too bad. Well, in that case... Nope. None of the turrets had much disabling for themselves going on there. And now we can see, damn! That's a pretty accurate hit. Poor thing. Well, now we only have one poor little Storyhana left. And that will be the basis for the Juan. So the AA guns are targeting in. I'm kind of surprised the crams are actually doing a pretty good job at hitting the Storyhanas. I would imagine that this like sine curve would most likely make it so that they miss, but sadly not. They hit a lot of the time. I think I don't know, maybe that sine wave is just a little bit too bad. Right, so all the Storyhanas is disabled. The crossbones is at 89%. So it definitely did some damage. I feel that they would eventually tear down the crossbones. Yeah. I'd say this is definitely a worthy effort of 2 points. But not more than that. It's more than 1 point. Survivability is bad, but damage was serious. Next. Here we have the Starmaid joke by Jono, 1928. This is, of course, the second submission, and this is the Isanth 5, or is it Isanth? Yeah, Isanth 5 from Starmaid. By the way, a lot of people have been posting some community updates for Starmaid, and if we're lucky, we'll have a Starmaid in a universe near us in a foreseeable future. That's like probably at least a year, but just so you know, it's not completely dead. Anyways, this one is going over the limit by a tiny bit, but it's 33, so it's like very close of amounting to 100,000, but we'll do the same for Anacrea's design. We'll spawn in 3 the first round, and then we'll have 2 for the refills. I don't expect this to be a very long battle. The Isanth is pretty terrible at dealing damage because it's not very accurate, and so far they have done a pretty bad job at evading anything. So I'll think the crossbones will make short work of this little flight. You can see one is already offline. Yeah, it's next scramble is coming in. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Poor Isanth 5s. To give it a tiny bit of chance of dealing any damage, we'll spawn in the second wave already. I think it's probably good if the crossbones has many target to target at the same time, because otherwise it's just going to barbecue them so darn fast, which might be the case anyways. I'm actually having so low hopes for these Isanth 5 of needing any damage. So I'm actually thinking like this. The Isanth 5 is kind of a joke submission anyway, so I know Jono won't be sad. We're spawning in the third wave already, and we're gonna see if it is able to deal any damage. But it is cool that we have the Isanth 5 now in from the depth. Jono, you should probably update that thing a little bit so it's a little bit better, and throw it up on the workshop, because it would be 5 to have like Starmaid Isanth 5, but in from the depth. So when people are searching for Starmaid Isanth 5, they'll find the from the depth workshop entry. Yeah. Anyways, Ooh, we're actually having a few of them that are somewhat untouched. The AA guns are doing some damage here. Look, when they get damaged, they get less see-throughable, which is fun. 94%. All turrets online and functioning. Yeah. So the Crossbones is having a all-front war and probably winning it very soon. I'm actually pretty surprised it bounced back from that. That must have been a fatal one. Yeah, this one is pretty offline now. Well, we're having another one falling down there. And... oh, no. That one was falling. Ooh! Is that a fatal hit? Who knows? It actually seems to be a pretty bad hit. Look at that poor thing. I think it lost all its engine power. Yeah, that's one. That one is pretty dead. Well, there we have it. Oh. And this one... there, I think it goes. No, it has some engine power still. Only those extension arms got hit. Hey, guns is targeting this one. Ah. Ooh! Was it a hit? Oh yes. Almost. There, this one is falling as well. The cram fragments got it until the end. AA guns are keeping this one occupied, but now the crams will pop in and finish the job, right? No. It's up for a few seconds more. The rest... no, we have one left. One alive. Dealing damage? I think not, but... who knows? The flak guns, it feels like they've became even less usable since they were renamed anti-munition warhead thing. Oh yeah, that's a... how is this not dead? Oh, the engine. Where is the engine anyways? Oh, there it is. Cool. The rest of them are downed. No, this one is actually technically airborne. But it's a very, very technically. And, oh yeah, okay, so this one is pretty over. Right. So, what do we have here? The Crossbones is at 88%. That's actually more percentages than I would have hoped for. That's actually pretty impressive for what I thought it would do. We can see though that even though we have some important blocks down there being exposed, in general the damage is extremely superficial because it's like wood and stuff only. Inside here we have the AI. It's not close of getting hurt. It seems that all of the turrets are still fully functional. So the damage is minuscule, but it is almost 20%, which is much more than I would have expected. So I'm gonna give it a 2. It deserved those 2. Don't you think so? Next up, we have Light of the World's Star Drop. This is gonna be pretty interesting. It's our only it's one of our very few pack-based systems. Anyways, I just want to say huge thanks to all the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM. All of you cadets, and most notably, our Admiral Scooberox, our Commodore Owen, Lieutenant Ant-All, Cravey, Parback Reed, and Vincent Veritas. Your monthly support helps a lot. Also, if you want to join the Ecclesiarchy, And you can see them with fancy badges, which you cannot see in the chest here, but the badges are technically in that chest. But anyways, you see them in the comments field. They have fancy badges. So if you want to get them, well, you can join the Ecclesiarchy for $1 a month and you'll get early access to all of my videos. Right, so Light of the World's Star Drop has an insane material per second draw. It's just full. It's absolutely full of what is it called? Like a steam tube, steam engine. So when we calculated how much energy it draws, it turned out to be a lot. Now, this is, as said, a pack-based system. It does some cool maneuvers like that, and it's looking pretty dandy doing it. So we're gonna see it just flops up like that, and it should send in some damage. We don't have any visible damage on the crossbow yet, but there we saw, we got a good little hit. I think it's impact packs too. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing against the crossbones, but I'm thinking it might be pretty good since it's wood. And even though it deals very little impact damage, the fact that it's doing that impact damage should make the wood crumble pretty well and maybe make it lose important bits when the wooden structure would theoretically be gone. The Light of the World's Star Drop has a material cost of 31,000, so we can fit 3 in one wave. So it's a little bit funny that the previous ones couldn't have full waves like that due to the exceeded material rule break. Like, it looks like it deals a lot of damage, but it's only down by 3%. So I think the damage it does do is pretty superficial. Obviously, it's impact. So I think the thing that could make it do like good damage is if it's hitting the right spots and making the like structure crumble, right? So we're having a very exposed superstructure here. I like that little wooden bench, that's nice. Alright, honestly, none of the star drops are actually taken out of play here. They're all producing those impact smashes. Gonna see if it's gonna smash. Nope. It's doing weird maneuvers now. It's kind of hard to guess when they're gonna deal damage and where they're gonna hit, because it's like impact. So when they hit, it's just snap like that, and the damage is dealt. Saw that. So that wasn't a particularly good, not a particularly good smack. You can see this superstructure could be just crumbled down here, and when that happens, well, then stuff can really happen. So the crime cannons are just shooting on random spots, it seems. The star drops are pretty evasive. I'm actually surprised any of them have been damaged yet. Look at that. So we're only seeing wood. For a target as large as this thing, I feel that the Pierce pack would probably have much better crit potential. This feels like we're doing a pretty slow grind, to be honest. Ooh. I didn't see you getting hit. Well, one star drop is down. And the AA guns are doing their best to target, but the star drops are pretty evasive. This one is wing clipped though, so it's doing a pretty bad job of contributing to the battle. Yeah, I think it's time to spawn in the second wave. That one is down anytime. Okay, second wave launch. Or, if we're gonna be correct, second flight launch. For the glory of the GMODISM Empire. Okay, let's go. It's kinda... Are they not using the missile? But why? But why? Well, the damage party is online here. Now the crossbones is rotating in smaller circles suddenly. The damage party is very much online. Well, crossbone is down to 90%. It is a bit grindy, but the star drops are pretty good at being evasive here. Ooh, there it goes! The superstructure, as we thought it would. Right, so now when it has grinded down a lot of the outer shell, it's gonna get down to the lower levels, and here we probably can see some real damage going on. Maybe if it would, you know, smash away the AI, it could be a pretty cool move. Alright. Nope. I'm kind of expecting them to do that little pack smash belly flop thing from time to time. I saw some EMP damage, so I do believe the missile were fired. I just missed their impacts and stuff before. Well. No important blocks yet. But 85%, we're on the second wave, and it seems like we're gonna do some more damage. So we're all just gonna let it run. I think that the stern turret somehow got hit by one of those missile torpedoes that carries EMP, because it just... I just saw it spin a little bit, you know, sad for a while. Oh, about sad. Look at that. That's the other wheel. Well, they're definitely getting there. The second wave is almost untouched. They are going a little bit close. The star drop is definitely extremely vulnerable whenever they get hit. It doesn't take many percentages from them to be almost completely incapacitated. But fortunately for the star drops, it's also pretty rare that they do get hit. So again, the second wave is still 100% alive. Yeah. Well, the crossbows somehow still have the ability to shoot back somewhat, but whenever their cannons are taken down, they don't have any ability to deal damage. You can see that the second star drop wing flight, is still completely alive. And this one bopping up and down in the water, since it's pack, it's actually still able to deal some damage, so that's pretty cool. Well, I think it's really good that the last test is just testing everything at this type of ultimate test. Something with AA guns, something with a lot of cram, something with a lot of health, a lot of size, a lot of bulk, and see how they would deal with a real battle scenario. That really helps us being able to judge them fairly. That's why we go from 0 to 10 on this last battle. This last challenge, the flight. And you can see more blocks are just falling off. Ooh, that's some rubber. Does that mean we have AI blocks being shot out soon? We'll have to check this out. Oh, look at that! This is this the main AI? Isn't it down here? I think it's down there. This must be the anti-air AI. Wow, if it hits that, the threat is basically over for the star drops. That's pretty cool. Oh, one bird is down though. Well, when those cram cannons hit, they hit hard. Ain't that right? We're just curious to see some really big AI blocks falling out of this thing. I do think the star drops are pretty happy we're not on a land map. They would not be able to do that flop in the water and get up back again for another round thing. If that was the case, but well, fortunately for them, it is not the case. That is the rests of a turret falling off there, or maybe it was. It looked kind of like it. We have one cram cannon active still. Oh no! Our boy is on fire. On a really in a really bad way. Poor thing. So that's probably one of the boilers getting destroyed. Seems like the fire is over, but I do not think that this one will be providing anything to the battle. Indeed not. We're gonna see if we'll have to spawn in the third round, or if the second round will grind them down eventually. In a reasonable time frame, that is. Well, we can't say that the star drops are doing short work of this, but they are doing some pretty good work. I just checked the stats and it turns out that a crossbone is below 56% there. We're at 56%, so, well, we're not many percent away from despawning territory actually. So will they survive long enough in the air to be able to take this home at the second wave mark, or will we have to spawn in next wave because it's too slow? Well, we'll see in a minute or two. Look, we're shedding big steam. Only one propeller seems to be alive here. The crossbones is in such a sad shape. Oh no, but there is only 2 star drops are still in the air, so that's something. Oh, that was a well-aimed one, wasn't it? That's so close to the AI. Or is that the ammo? One of them. So we decided to spawn in the third wave. We stayed a little too long of going down from 66% to 64%. Turned out that both of the star drops that were in the air were a little bit damaged both, so that might have been affected the extremely slow damage dealing, but we kind of reached the maximum wait time there. So now we are in full capacity again with the third wave. And I can't imagine that we'll get any other result than, it will look already down to 60% now, then that they will be able to take out the crossbones. This is like slowly but surely grinded down. Man, all of the big crams are actually offline now, that's great. Look at that. Well, good job. Was able to take it out pretty quickly there when we spawned in the third wave. That's definitely the best score of the third wave batch, which leaves Light of the World's Star Drop with a 7 in points. Next out, we'll have one of my personal favorite, Pizza Summoner's Sardalk. It not only has a cool spinny thing, it has cram cannons with lock-on stuff. So we're going to spawn the crossbones, and I would imagine that it's gonna do some pretty good work against or with the crossbones, dependent on how you see it. So these are some pretty fast ones, and they have the most amazing lock-on system. Alright, I think they're going down for the... Look at that. That's so cool. So yeah, that's what it does. It deals some really good cram damage. Look at that. They're penetrating. You don't see the damage from the surface, but this is the opposite to the previous contestant, Light of the World Star Drop, which did impact surface damage. This is penetrative cram. And the really cool thing with the Pizza Summoner's design here is not only the very good decoration, it is that the cram cannons, both of them actually have different lock-on places. Let's see if it's gonna lock on yet. No. This one is a little bit damaged. Oh darn. Whoa. Whoa, okay. I think we experienced a game bug. What the hell happened there? Holy crap, that's like machine gun crams. That was the weirdest game bug I've ever seen. Unfortunately, we'll have to respawn this. This is just insane. I've never seen machine gun crams before. Will it do it? I'm just so curious. Will it do it again? But yeah, we can't have these results. Look at that. That's only 2. Okay, maybe it just was a fluke, or Pizza Summoner has post-submission hacked from the depth and made some super advanced code. Who knows? Right, so we had to restart this run, right? The Sardalks are diving in here. We'll just have to see if we experience this bug again. That's absolutely crazy. Machine gun crams, never seen the like of it. And there you can see the cool thing is that they divide up and you know, shoot at different places. Now they were so close to each other. I don't know if they are avoiding getting collisioned with each other or not. I don't think I spawned that close to each other, but you know, that can happen too. You'll have to set up in the AI to be able to make them not make them shoot at each other accidentally using fail-safes, and also not colliding with each other, just using do not collide with your friends option with the right settings. Oh darn. Damn, that got pretty hurt there. The crossbones is down by 8%. They have dealt some pretty good damage, we must say. But it seemed they had a little bit of a unfortunate situation there in the first dive bomb attack. Right, we're coming in for another one. Oh, that one missed. That's a pretty good hit. Alright. No cram cannons are offline yet. All of the Sardalks do have taken some pretty good damage there. One Sardalk is actually offline now. Is this one? No, not falling. We're gonna see when how they come in for this second round, if it's time to spawn in a second wave, or if they are fully combat capable. Right, they're diving in. That's a pretty good hit. Second gun didn't fire. Now we got shot there too. That was a pretty good hit though. Yeah, we have big steam popping out of here. You can see the crossbones don't have much power now. That's definitely some good work. Whew, these Sardalks are suffering a bit though. Oh, it's not obvious that they will come back for another attack round. I think only one of them might be not damaged enough to be able to do it. I think it's this one. Alright. Should be locking on. There we did. Oh! That's a pretty bad hit there. Our boy is on fire. And not in a good way. Alright. The crossbones. We're at 88%, so the first wave did some good damage. You can see that the remaining Sardalks are pretty damaged. This one seems to have no cram cannon as left, so I definitely think it's time for spawning in the second round here. And with a cost of 31,000, almost 32, we can of course spawn in 3 of them. And I think, whoops, we must be inside of it. Right, what happened here? You know what? This is weird. Oh, they have successfully regrouped. Look at that. That's some pretty good damage. I almost thought that they had gotten crazy for a while there, but they have indeed not. They're back, dealing extreme damage. They just need to run away for a little while and get back for another attack. Oh, another one of those awesome dive bomb cram attacks. We'll just have to experience this. Isn't this cool? Oh, yes. Well, Pizza Summoner definitely knew what he was doing when he invented that system. That's so cool. Lock-on systems are always great. Oof, that's some big damage. Well, at this rate, I think the second wave is going to be able to deal pretty well with the crossbones here. It's down to 78%. The Sardalks unfortunately take a lot of damage when they deal the attack bomb dives, but it's definitely worth it. It's not easy to deliver this high of a damage. Oh, is this the one with no crams? Here we have one with crams though. Surge protectors. Oh! There we had a pretty large explosion, and there too. They are delivering here. Delivering cram fetty. And wood. All over the place. It seems that only one cram cannon is functioning, and not very well at that. Are you shooting blank, sir? Yes, you are. Right. Oh no, this is the one without the ammo. Poor thing. Well, it can at least confuse it. Now that was probably not the most valuable spot to shoot at this time. But how could the AI know that? I think the Sardalk probably has the ability to one-shot the crossbones if it just aims at the AI. It's so smart that the cram shots have different targeting locations, because that just doubles the chances of a crit hit each attack run. No, I was wondering, did you hit something there? Alright. You're the one without the guns, right? Yes, you are. Alright. That's some pretty good hits, I think. More cram system, more wood fetty. I'm just waiting for that AI shot here. There we have it. I think the AI might actually... I think it was destroyed there. Huh. That's a blank. Wow. I actually think we did it there. We have to monitor it a little bit, of course. But honestly, I think they've already disabled it. Like, we can of course kill it like that, but no, that side of the AI, okay, it's not over yet. It is over now. Look at that, it's very over. Very good job. That's the second round. That's the second run. We did some pretty good damage there. Well, with being able to kill it at the second round, we're having a pretty good score here, of course. It took a little bit of time. We had some tiny problems with the survivability, but we took him out on the second round, and we did it pretty epically, actually. So that's definitely an 8. Scratch that, I think we actually did it a lot more effectively than the other ones that got the 8. This is a 9. I think this is the second most well executed takedown of the crossbow so far, so that's deserving of a 9. Almost highest score, which is the upper limit for taking out the crossbones on the second round. But I truly feel it has the ability to take it out on the first round if it has some luck, which adds a lot to a design. Critability must be pretty valued highly, because if you have critability, especially with like deeply penetrating crams, you can take on a lot of targets, and you know, with the impact pack you will not get a lucky hit and kill the crossbones, but with a pen depth cram you have the ability. Next out we have Rush's Butterfly Wasp. With 22,000, almost 23,000 materials, we get a wave of 4. I do believe that this design has a lot of some pretty like larger missiles. I think it actually has some pretty good chance of dealing some pretty good damage if indeed it's able to hit them, the missiles, because it does have some ability with aiming and shooting at smaller targets, and that is because the missiles had a little bit of a lock-on issues earlier sometimes, but I think that's probably not the case in this area. I think the crossbones is just impossible to miss, but will the missiles go through the defensive systems, I wonder? And there we can see the example when the laser is not able to focus for too long. None of them have been hit so far. They're pretty fast and agile. Rush's Butterfly Wasp, right? That's what it's called, right? Butterfly Wasp, yeah. They're very fast and maneuverable. I do hope that the lasers are set up to aim at teams lasers, because otherwise we'll have some issues with them losing contact. If they can aim at a teammate's missile laser, then they have just so much higher chances of actually hitting. Oh no! We got full fatality rate here. Oh darn. That one is basically dead, so yeah, okay. We already need to throw in the second flight here, which is a little bit surprising to me. I thought that they would continue to evade those crams and basically grind it down, but that was not the case at all. Oh no. And a lot of the missiles are actually shot down by the Crossbones AA. Ah, look at that. So near, but wasted damage potential due to that missile laser not being able to focus at the right place just long enough. We can see there is actually a surprisingly low amount of missiles that reach the Crossbones here. That does surprise me. I would suspect that they would do a lot better. But it seems that they indeed do not have very high chances of taking out the Crossbones with the third wave. Right. So, well, I guess we're gonna see if it does it or not, but it doesn't look like it's too much to hope for. Like, look at those poor things just falling out of the sky. Whenever they're targeted, it seems to be pretty much game over. Now we have a nice little lock-on here. If only the missiles will continue to... Yeah, I kind of forgot about this little missile laser fail here. I'd suppose they do not actually aim at the teammates' lasers. Maybe they do, but it's just not enough then. The Crossbones is large enough that a lot of the missiles can hit anyways, even if it kinda doesn't have an updated position of where the Crossbones are. They can just, if they just go forwards. But I guess if they're set up to see skimming, I guess they would just do like this and just go horizontally, right? If they're set up to straight firing line, I guess they won't change that, right? So that's definitely something to set up then. Right, we have 2 butterfly wasps in the air. I feel that the damage potential is pretty low. They have not too long to live, I'd suspect. So I'm going to spawn in the 4th wave. No, the 3rd wave. It's just because I mix it up because it's 4 of them for a wave here. And there we could see some missiles evading, some missiles hitting. Well, now we get some pretty bad weather too, so this is gonna be pretty interesting indeed. Look at that. Ah, waste the damage. So sad. If these missiles just had some EMP, I think they could make some pretty short work of the Crossbones, because apparently the Crossbones turrets are not the best with EMP insulation, as we have seen from earlier combatants. I think it was the Story Hana, right, that took out some pretty good turrets with just a tiny bit of EMP damage. Well, we're slowly getting there, I guess, but this feels like a long one. I just checked the stats here. We honestly only have 2 butterfly wasps alive. Alright, so there... and now there was only 1. Well then. Waste the damage again. So that's so sad. If they just had been radar guide or something. It's actually easier to just set up the laser to just, you know, have an extra laser, make them always face the enemy, but that is not the case, and that has been an issue in earlier videos as well, so it's not like I should be surprised or anything. It's just that there is a lot of submissions, easy to forget, you know. Not dead yet. But it's seriously only one. The crossbones is down to 87%. So they have done substantial amount of damage. That has to be given to it. It seems that some of the turrets are seriously hurt. Not sure if the bow battery is EMP offline or like the LVC has been hurt or not. But they're not trying to aim very much, at least. Generally, the crossbone is not at the worst conditions, that have to be said. Definitely is not. No, and those missiles didn't even get through much, did they? Oh, and there we go. Well, crossbones is at 86%, so that's almost 20% again. That is some substantial damage, but we're not close to disabling it, so this is definitely 2 points. Right, so last out, we're going to have the last little submission for the third flights videos. And this is the absolutely beautiful BY-409 bomber by our MIA Captain Y. So this one looks pretty amazing. It's definitely the best looking design. I think it's one of the best looking designs. It's in the top of the QCB. Let me check here. Yep, it is the best looking design together with Pizza Summoner's A Saradalk. Unfortunately, like the Saradalk, it has suffered a little bit from the Discord links getting disappeared like that. But, oh no. They're absolutely a joy to sit in, and they have some really smart stuff of being efficient and nice like that. They have a low cost of just under 20,000 materials, which means that this is encroaching the upper limit of how large a flight can be. I think that was 6 units and this is 5. So let's get in the crossbone and see if they can do anything against the crossbones. Crossbones have been sighted. We got some diff guns, we got some different mix of things there. Now, it may look very good, but it does have some issues, of course. This and here we got the little sonar buoy harpoon thing there. All right. The AA guns are doing traditional AA damage. Let's see which of them are getting in close. So we actually got 3 of them a bit damaged already. They are doing a traditional bomber run here. So we're having diff guns shooting down here to deal some damage. And we'll see if that damage will be enough. If they can line up and do proper bombing runs. Oof, we got one B409 down. Oh no. We got another one falling down. Poor B409. But they are looking absolutely splendid doing it. That's true. Alright. It seems they are having some issues getting in to do the bombing dives. And not a good ability to avoid those crams. So, it's looking very cinematic right now, but I guess not in a good way. Oh no. Look at that. The engines are down. Oh, very, very cinematic. But not good for the glory of the AOG. Well, it's looking like some serious second round territory here. I don't know if we have any combat ready one. This has only one propeller. This one just got shot at. But it's doing a bombing run, okay. Now it's missing engine box. God damn it, shoot those diff guns. No, it... Alright. It's definitely second round. So... Second flight. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're gonna sit inside of this thing and see what happens. And it's like slow motion all over the place. These has just so many mimics on them. I mean decos. They look absolutely splendid. And now we're running away. Well, we're not gonna look at that one then. Oh no. This one is doing the belly flop move. This one is pretty targeted, poor thing. Look at that. The crossbones is only down to 98%. Well, they're just not getting in there to deal damage. That's quite unfortunate indeed. While I don't think Captain Y plays, or MIA Captain Y plays from the depth right now, I would almost want to send the B409 to someone that wants to do an overhaul of it. So if you're into From the Depth still and you'd like to do an overhaul of the B409, please contact me on Discord and I'll send over the design to you, and you can make it work better and replace those decals and put your own name in the AI and insert a little extra name in the name of it and stuff like that, and that would be absolutely fantastic, because this airplane is just such a beautiful design, and it's so unfortunate it will just not be able to provide firepower. Right now we're like, it did damage, it has done damage, so, but not a lot, so we're like in the 1% territory. Poor thing, look at that. Well, do we have enough of them in the air that can actually do something? I think it's third round territory actually. And I spawned them in this cool semicircle pattern to give them some kind of tactical advantage. Because if they will be ever able to do any type of damage, I think this is their chance if they'll get some of this... Oh, well. I guess screw tactics, we're running away. Man, we're having a lot of wings in the air, and the FPS will suffer. The game speed is running. Oh, it's running at 100%? I kind of don't really believe that. It's going down to slow motion so often. Wow, they're just not targeting the poor old crossbones. Poor old crossbones are absolutely mincing these. No, no, no. Beautiful designs getting shredded to tiny pieces. Oh well. Cruel world. Ooh, look at that. We had some fuel in the wings. When all of these were submitted, fire was not a thing. And now you can see fuel engines in the wings, which a lot of my planes have too. Wow, they're just making the entire wings burn down. Is it just me, or it seems that none of them have been able to get in there and deal any damage against the crossbows? One of them did it in the first run, but now they seem to never be able to really line up for a proper attack run. They're like changing their mind when they're getting close, repairing each other a little bit instead, and well, mates, let's just call it a day. Yeah, good times. So yeah, this one seems to be suspiciously disabled though. How would that have happened? Maybe the diff rods do have a bit of an EMP. Now this is golden bomb run, right? And it doesn't fire. Why? We'll need an AOG engineer. Maybe it's you to look at this, if anyone wants to. It's not like I'm... Because I know this will be a finicky project due to all of those mimics. Yeah. This will be a finicky project, and updating my own designs have been a finicky project so far as well. Especially the Gimli. Oh my god, that battle series. It was pretty funny with Kevin Try's Gimli Mark II. A lot of people got confused and thought that my upgrade was out, but no, it's very tricky. Ooh! It dealt damage. That's not a lot of damage. Well, 97%. Nothing has really happened. We absolutely do not have much crit ability. Not at all. I think we will be joking with ourselves if we assume that this will do any type of crit damage anytime soon. 3%, maybe one turret is disabled, that's something, but it's not enough damage to be more than 1 point. But it is damage, so it's definitely a point. But I hope you have enjoyed this little episode, and if you have, do not forget that shop.gmodism.com exists if you want to get some nice merch. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Join the Ecclesiarchy if you... There we have it. If you wanna get the videos a little bit early, do join the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM right here. If you want to get some perks and be able to download all of my files and templates in a very easy way and not have to save them yourselves via things I uploaded to the workshop. Also, we have our Discord community down here. I will have you know that the camera is not mirrored. That's why I'm getting confused when I'm trying to point at things. Anyways, the Discord community, a lot of people think is pretty nice, so maybe you want to ask some cool questions there. I don't know. With enough rambling, I will close this episode off, and I will also have you know that the last and fourth episode will be the last of the battles, and then we'll have to calculate the points and decide who is the winners. So, I'll see you next time. This is your host, GMODISM. We're signing out. Eric of GMODISM. Or Admiral, that's right. Okay, that's enough. Enlisted, commissioned officers, and anyone else who are watching this video, you're very welcome to the last section where we will try the flights against the crossbones. Before we begin, I will just say A huge thanks to all the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODISM from Lieutenant and above, which is Admiral Scoobrooks, Commodore Owen. We have Lieutenants Ando Cravey, Parbagreed, and Vincent Veritas. Thanks a lot for supporting the channel every month. Also, huge thanks to everyone in ECCLESIARCHY. You can see their badges in the comments field. Oh yes. Let's get into the battles. Next out here, or first out I mean, we have Shotgun's Dart. This beautiful little build costs 23,700 materials, which means we can fit 4 into a wave, or a flight. So let us spawn in the crossbones at the set distance, and we're gonna see what will happen. Alright. The machine guns are machine gunning on. We're closing in. Okay, the first dart has gone in there. Very nice. Oh, they're flying close. Will we shoot anything though? Or are we going to use... Oh, there we have a missile. Oh no! The missile blew up. I guess that's the flak for you. When you use anti-munition warheads to shoot against your targets, I suppose you will shoot down their missiles automatically too. Look at that. Oh no! Oh no! Is it just me, or are the missiles launched from the darts just exploding mid-air? No. Now we got a couple of them. But they have no health whatsoever. Look at that. This thing is barely alive. Oh no. Thank you. Alright. 2 more missiles launched. And they just won't reach the target. The crossbones is at 100%. It's not looking great for Shotgun Dart. I think we can spawn in the other round here. We only have 1 of them functioning in a reasonable way. So 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. The next flight is spawned in. We're the first flight. We're completely unable to deal any damage towards the Deepwater Guard crossbones. Right, here we have a big missile swarm coming in there, and it seems that only 1 of them did reach the crossbones, dealing minuscule damage. Well, when your missile has low health, this is what can happen. Alright. I think it seems very likely we'll have to spawn in the 3rd flight. The crossbones has taken some damage. That's good. That means, you know, 1 point at least. Oof. The AI guns of the crossbones are doing a pretty good job at shooting these down. Not sure those crams are hitting anything though. They are just going dangerously close, aren't they? We have we have an entire wing of Shotgun's darts in the air. It seems they have managed to damage the crossbones AA guns a significant amount. Because now it seems that the tides may have been turning for the shotgun dart. And here we got the tiny magnet bombs. And they're actually them... Yeah, they're actually the ones that are dealing the bulk of the damage, I do believe. They're a little bit difficult to shoot down with AA guns. But here we can see the anti-air and anti-munition guns. They seem to be a bit damaged, to be honest. Look at that. Missiles are coming in here. Is the tide turning? And these small missiles, they'll just not get activated. Oh, they're removing some small blocks of the hull on the outside there. We still have, I don't know, 1,000. It seems that we have okay, that one is down 3,000 meters, 1,000 meters. They're going pretty far away at times, and then they come back. Don't know why they're going so far away though. Oh. Does it just go that low, or is it damaged somehow? Hard to tell. Well, will the AA guns... Okay, the AA guns are pretty still efficient. One dart seems to be shot down. We'll have like 3/4 of them in a workable condition. I think the one that are like at 80% or similar are definitely down. Huh. It's good they have shields. Oh. I like how the cram explosions exploding behind or close to a craft basically makes it fly up a little bit in the air. Crossbows is down 90%. Oh man. Oh man, look at that. Poor thing. Are you not gonna be shot at with crams? Apparently not. Well done. I thought we would see a real cram cannon executioner move there. Nice dive there. Missiles coming in and hitting. When you shoot the missiles towards the target when you're pretty close to them, the missiles or anti-missile cannons can't really shoot them down. Civs will not be able to react when the bomber just shoots them at a very close distance, which is cool. We have one missile getting in there. Oh, it's actually reaching the target. There we go. 87%. Oh, that's brutal. I was almost thinking the fire would spread to the crossbows though. Oh, damn. Is it gonna crash into this one too? No, it just misses it, it seems. Oh, well. Will the cram side cannons not fire? Well, it died anyways. Okay, we have like one dart in the air. We'll have to send in the third wave. 2, 3, and 4. Let's go. Third and final wave of shotguns dart. Loads of missiles are incoming there. I think they have a decent chance of beating it though. Look, if I tilt back like this, you can see my shirt. I think I need a camera that's a little bit more wide angle, don't you? Well, the crossbows is fighting pretty valiantly. Even though it has sustained some damage, you can see that the darts can't really relax yet. Ooh, when it flies close like that, and the cram cannons almost get it, that's like scary. Look at that. They'll just drop these bombs in front of it. I think it's pretty cool. Those magnet bombs are pretty cool. Well, the third wave's damage is progressing. Some of the... Oh, I think this one just got shot down. Man, that must have been a cram hit. Right, we have 2 darts that are unscathed so far. We're gonna see what scoring will end up with. It seems it may not be able to take it out on the 3rd round, or the 3rd... Oh damn! Oh damn! Cinematic falling down and burning. Poor thing. Well, it looks like the darts will probably not be able to take out the crossbones. Like getting a little bit stuck in the water too. We'll see though. This one is out. This one is not out, but it's kind of dipping into the water all of the time. Oh, we're having a pretty bad time. Let's wait for the crams to come in. Oh. Well, they're real fast. 130 meters per second. I'm kind of surprised the crossbones guns can hit them at all. And here we have the next magnet activated. Oh, we don't have that. Oh no, never mind. We have all the propellers left. Well, they are fighting to the last bits and pieces, but this battle is soon gonna be very over. Well, I think this one is the only one that is kinda out of the waters. Ooh, that was a close miss from the cram cannons. Oh man. Yeah, I think this is the only one that's not into the water by now. And it still has some damage dealing potential, right? But it just dips into the water, which isn't like the best. Alright, we're going in for another attack. Ah, now we have all of the crams attacking. And this is not a good place to be. Look at that. Oh no, stranded in the water. Oh no! Okay, there we get it. They're all down now. Roger that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, the crossbones is not defeated. It has an 79% health, which, you know, it's pretty damaged. It can eventually definitely damage it, I think. You know what? I think this is a clear 4 in points. It's not enough to take it out in any way, and they had some survivability problems, but it did some serious damage, so it deserves 4 points. You can see that they can eventually grind it down. If you put the shotgun's dart, if you have the same material cost of the darts as you do with the crossbones, I think they can defeat it. So it's not that bad. It's just not enough for getting the better scores. Next out, we have Nilden's Penguin. So Nilden will be showing up a good bit in this little video, and we're gonna spawn the crossbones, and of course we are going to spawn more penguins. We can have 3 penguins in a flight, and of course a crossbones. So the crossbones has been spawned. We'll definitely need to check into that. Alright, this upwards and downwards, no, not super stable moment is probably super great for not getting hit. Now, I wonder what's up with the missiles here. Alright, I guess we're going in for the attack round here. What are we doing? Oh, That's a very inaccurate bomb drop. They just get shot down by the AA guns. Oh lord, I suspect this will be a forever battle with very little damage. Come on, penguins, drop the darn bombs. Well, I had high hopes for the penguins. This is a bit underwhelming. Let's see here. Yeah, so one penguin got shot. Are you kidding me? What did it die from? Did it get shot down by flak? Oh no! The crams actually almost hit the penguins. Poor penguins. Well, they don't really seem to deal any damage at all. 2 penguins are already hurt. Not a percentage has been... yeah, we're gonna spawn in the second wave. And it doesn't do any damage. We're gonna double flank the crossbones. We're gonna spawn in the third wave for Nilden's third submission. Because I want to see if they can do any damage. It seems that... well... and now why are you running away? Alright, anyways. So, I want to see if they can do any damage. If we have all the three waves in at once, can we see any particular damage? Because I'm not going to wait for each of the waves of slowly getting shot down while not dealing any damage. That makes a boring video, and when I make boring videos, you'll have to tell me, because then I'm doing something really wrong. I mean, that's the point of doing videos, right? It should be somewhat enjoyable. Well, well. Ooh, penguin! Oh yes! Oh yes! That is an excellent bomb drop! They'll have no time shooting them down. Yeah, there you go. 1% has been stolen from the crossbones. Look at that. The explosives. That was actually a super good hit. Whoa. If that would have hit a little bit differently, it might have taken out the entire cram cannon. Right. So we spawned in all 3 waves. We actually have a serious amount of penguins being downed. Poor thing, look at that clubbed penguin. Well. It's like they're moving up and down in a bobbing motion. It's just not quite enough to outrun the crams. If they just had a bigger sine wave going up and down like this, I feel it would have evaded all of those shots. Alright, so 2%. Some of them are still dropping bomb, but the AA guns are so undamaged that most of them can actually take out. Oh, I wanna see this. No, are you set up to not collide? Oh. Sad. No! Oh, they're attaching to the wrong... oh, well. Right, so the penguins are just very unable to deal much damage at all. So, they do deal damage. So, they'll have 1 point, but we're not gonna sit around here more. Nilden's third submission gets 1 point. They're just not able to deal much damage at all. And the penguins are slowly getting shot out of the sky, while basically none of their bombs are ever reaching the crossbones. I think that will be enough. Next out we also have Nilden with a B8 bomber. This one is absolutely fabulous, because it has a bombing cam, which is cool. Right, it cost 32,000 materials, So we'll have 3 in a wave. Alright. And these look pretty darn cool, don't they? It's like a flight of B-17 or whatever they're called, flying into bombing war. Very effectful. Anyways. Oh no! We're getting pretty hit here. Okay. We'll need to check out the bombing cam. It seems that something is wrong with the bombing cam. Or maybe not. It's not doing... Nilden's first submission here isn't doing very well, is it? Oh, there we had some bombs. Well, this is kind of interesting. I did think they would, I don't know, shoot their bombs. Maybe a little bit, you know? Well, they have started to try and deal some damage, but yeah, this is a little bit underwhelming. They just won't work at this scale. Oh man. No. Well, at least it did some damage. Look at them beautiful bombs sitting here in their racks, getting unused. What a waste. Well, we knocked off that wheel. I feel it's definitely time to throw in the second wave. And I want to be inside of this one. Or maybe not. Alright. They're lining up? No. It's like they're a bit confused. What are we doing? These red and green lights are blinking in a weird pattern, right? Well, I don't know why, but the bombs are not shooting very often. Well, here we had a fall of bombs going on there. Oh man, that looked brutal. And the AA guns are getting most of them anyways. Are we burning? No. I mean, they do deal some damage, it's just not quite enough. Alright. Oh damn. That's burning. That's super cinematic. But man, not good for the Nilden's first mission, the B8 bomber here. Oh well. Shit happens, I guess. It looks like we have a strong case of spawning in the third wave. Now, we do have some ability to maybe see something on... Like, we have to look one time at the bombing cam, right? Look at that, that was pretty cool. Ah. This is kind of nice, even though it looks like you're watching a YouTube video of 144p. Sorry about that. But I'm pretty glad the from the depth video screens are not high res, because you don't know how much lag they cause. They cause so much lag. Don't use video screens on your battleships if you're gonna have battles with them. They just cause too much lag. Not worth it. Well, they seem to be complaining a little bit we spawned them too close, so we're gonna go down to 3,000 meters here, which is the proper spawning distance anyways. Alright. And we're going to get into the battle. Let's see what's happening here then. It's like low intensity exciting. Now the flags pop in. Alright. Oh! Oh, damn! Oh no! Okay. Well, we have a few bombs, which most of them missed. Well, crossbows is at 90%. I mean, that's something. Well, I guess we're gonna see how this ends. But I must say, it is a little bit underwhelming. I thought the Nilden's first submission here, the AUG BU-8 bomber, would actually deal some pretty good damage against the crossbones. Maybe I reverse jinx myself, because that looked like a pretty darn good hit. GMODISM, I don't think that reverse jinxing is a thing. Casually talking to myself, who wouldn't? Anyways, the B-8 bombers have turned this around a little bit. The Admiral, not the Admiral, the Crossbones, the AI is called Admiral, is down to 83%. So obviously, they have started to do something right. I do suspect that they have shot down the AA guns eventually, been grinding them down. Which, in turn, makes it so that the missiles, these ones, reach their target. You look at that! It just continues to deal damage. It's pretty exciting. Except when it gets hit, then it turns less exciting. Look at that, the engine is shot down. Isn't that super cinematic? It is. It's super cinematic. Anyways, wouldn't want to be on this plane. Am I? No. Looks like it's gonna do a classical SpaceX belly flop landing. Not quite. Right. Oh. Wing clipped again. Poor thing. It's like the crams are slowly picking him off. We have like no B-8 bomber undamaged. No, we don't. So the question is... Oh yeah, this one actually deals some damage still. Okay, cool. Question is, will they be able to even take out the crossbones? I hoped that for a second, but I think that hope has left me now. Well, look at that. Not half bad. When they come from top down like this too, they're dealing some serious damage. It's just a matter of time when it gets hit by a cram though. But circling above the crossbones like this, it seems to be a pretty decent tactic. Well, almost thought they would crash for a moment there. When it changes trajectory like that all the time, it's not very often that the crams seem to hit. Right, so we have like 4 Nilden bombers that are technically having a pretty high score. But one of them seems to be circling around here. I don't know what it's doing. Is it coming in, maybe? Well, guess we'll see. This must be pretty unnerving. Just sitting up here. Waiting to get shot. Looks like the lost child is back. So now we have 3 V8 bombers chilling around here. So smart that the crossbones has area detonation on those crams. Probably makes all the difference. Well, it looks like the boys are moving in and we're unloading. Oh yeah, next one. Perfect. Oh no! Oh no. Well, that happens. Oh man, they're so down. The crossbows is down at 69%. That's pretty decent. 69, the funny number, as Borderwise says. Anyways, they're continuing to deal damage. I feel this battle has a bit slowed down a tiny bit, but I mean, we're gonna wait and see if they will be able to actually take down the crossbones. Are you shooting blanks, sir? You sure seem to be. It's gotta catch him. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Very cinematic indeed. Like having wings you can shoot off adds to the cinematicness, don't you think? It's just raining missiles here. I think that one of the things that really made the crossbones be less good now is that I think its inaccuracy increased a lot when detection and stuff got shot down. So I think that's a huge contributing factor. Man, there is just so many turrets gone here. Look at that, it's so like hollowed out. It's like nothing left. It's just a couple of cram cannons now. 62%. That is pretty good indeed. And they're still being able to shoot down some more missiles and slowly grind down some damage. Well, now there is only one left, flying up in the air like this, circling around. And it still shoots some missiles, so it's technically in the battle here, dealing damage. So we're gonna see, basically, we'll have to check out if this thing will grind down the crossbones by itself, or if it will eventually be shot down. Look at that! Look at that! The crossbones is despawning. Alright, victory for Nilden's first submission, being able to take him out using the 3rd wave. That's super nice. Taking him out using the 3rd wave, that's really good. It took some time. I think it will be 6 points, which is the mill score for taking him out the 3rd round. Good job. Next out, we're actually having Nilden's 2nd submission, which is the Invader. The very, well, I suppose, flying sorcerer looking design. I do suspect this battle will not be too long. They are absolutely not able to dodge the crams. Thus, if the crams aim at the right spot, I think they'll die pretty quickly. But we of course have no idea, and we're gonna check out what happens. If this tiny pack cannon will be able to do anything against it. Right. Poor invaders. That one is very dead and burning. Look how cinematic this is. I need my cinematic filter, which I have somewhere. That one seems a bit dead too. Are we gonna have a... No, it didn't crash on it. Well, that's sad. Right, so I think that might have been the shortest so far. We're gonna spawn in the 2nd wave. You know, I think we can spawn in the third wave while we're at it. See if any damage will be dealt. It's like tiny explosive pack. I'm kind of surprised the crossbones has suffered 1% damage though. Because I think these are, right? These are like... Or maybe it was impact. No, that's explosive, right? Isn't it? Oh man, they're just getting shot down so fast. Well, that's all of them, basically. 4 things. Surprisingly enough, the crossbones is down by 2%. So somehow they did a tiny bit of damage, which means 1 point. I'm very glad it was over quickly, at least. That's something I like with crafts with low survivability.